And we are live. Welcome everybody to another episode of You Know What? Let me just say podcast. I am your host, Ray. With me as always, we have Dion.
What is up?
We got D Wolf.
Greetings.
And last but not least, we have the lovely Crystal.
Hola.
How's everybody doing today?
And now, just got over a headache. Now I'm better.
Yeah, everybody was going through some type of
hmm
sickness or something like that.
We going
Shit,
through
my
some, man.
my son just recovered from a cold.
Mm.
Uh, I heard,
Shit.
I heard the last Beyonce concert, people was having COVID. So, well,
Oh no.
Oh.
leave
I'm
leave it to a
laughing, but
Beyonce concert because one
Lord.
of my homegirls that was in the Navy, she went to a Beyonce concert. I think it was in Texas or somewhere or wherever she was at. Come to find out, like I see her story, she was like, "I got COVID going to that damn Beyonce concert." So
Oh shit.
I pray she gets through it, but I hope it was worth it.
And isn't Texas, you know, her where she was born,
Yeah, she's
Beyonce?
born in Houston, Texas.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
Daddy Alabama, Mama Louisiana.
Mm.
Mhm. Hold on a second. The light screen.
What the hell?
All right, I'm back. Sorry for that. Anyway, shoot, might as well get started. Did I see that a lot of, as you can see, I don't know about y'all, but I have a lot of topics. Some of them was held over last week because I'm not gonna lie, I set up like I told Crystal, I did set up, but like I fell right the fuck to sleep because I was so tired. So most of these are going to be do you cares. So but these are a lot. I think these are a lot of good topics, though. And the first one I want to start with, and it's funny because the actors' strikes is just got resolved, and the writers are getting their money. Did y'all know that the Snow White actress got fired?
Um,
It's about time.
yeah, I think from
Um.
I think she's still in. Isn't she still in the movie? But she's just fired from this point on.
I believe so.
Or is it?
I heard General Taker was supposed to replace her. That's what I heard.
Mm,
But
Interesting.
I also heard that the screening of the Snow White didn't go that well either. This is
Yeah,
what I'm
same.
yeah, this is what I'm hearing, so it may or may not be true. But yeah, I heard the screening of the Snow White thing was not good, so
how could it? After everything they already told us of in it or not in it, I'm like, I couldn't imagine it being any good. I'm like, it could be good in its own right, but there's always that takeaway when it's not what you expect or want from, especially from an adaptation. It's kind of like, all right, don't use me as an example for this, but it's kind of like the first Super Mario Brothers movie and the first Final Fantasy movie. Like, if it's not what you expect or what grew up with, like it's not that. So it could be good all at once, but it's like nah. this ain't it. Like you should have named it something else or something. You know, if it's not what they expect, this is what's gonna happen. Like you can't be who you are from where you are and be that. Like that's not your fault. That's not the actress's fault. Like not 100%. That's Disney's fault. But at the same time, she should have kept her mouth closed during and before the strike, and none of this would have happened. But you know, she talked too much.
Like
Like
when
this
you
is what
have,
caused this. This is what caused the strike. And like this is all. Sorry. Go ahead. I don't want to tickle
you
you,
know,
but go
like
ahead.
like when you have a cake that you grew up with as a kid and it's good, no ingredients need to be changed, and then they change it and fuck up your whole taste buds, and whoever changed it is like, oh, we need to embrace change. But at the same time, this is not the ingredients that we originally had, and it's giving more hindrance to us moving forward in ingredients and cake factor. Like you just changing up shit just to change it, and you think that the ingredients taste good. The cake tastes fucking bitter, and you embracing bitterness. If the majority of people know a story to be as is with certain characters, what are we learning by changing the skin color of the person? That people can just take stories that is wholesome and original and just change it just to be woke? It's not even for a good benefit. It's just because, you know, we're just going to change it. The same thing with the mermaid. It's the same damn thing. Nobody's hating on the woman because she's black, but where a majority of people was going against it, some were racist as fuck, but some people was going against it because um, they was making it a black white thing. No, I just want my kids to enjoy the same way that I enjoyed it as a kid. What is the problem? Race is pulled
Yeah.
into everything and everywhere unnecessarily, making us victims of our own mindset instead of just being, okay, well, let's just pay homage. You can't go to Japan and change an original story to fit a black person in there. I have yet to see that shit. You know what I'm saying? So, especially if it's years before even our parents were born, you're going to change it all up to change just the race. It's kind of like putting, you know, the race at the forefront and then saying, oh, it's not the race. Why you have a problem with it? Then you're racist. What kind of shit is that? So, yeah, she was going on the bandwagon of not seeing, hey, let's just pay homage to how things were and not change the story, but create new stories that she can be part of. It's not like she's the director or the screenwriter, but the fact that she was just jumping on this bandwagon and not seeing the full 360 view, yeah, she needed to be moved. And now she done fucked up Hunger Games, for me. Now it's kind of like
Oh
being in a
yeah, I
class with
forgot
the
you did.
bad kids and you're the only good kid. And now, why? People got to boycott now the Hunger Games. Look, don't fuck up my movie because one person is in it, but all this hooting and hollering over something that's not going to change the world for the better, like sit your ass down somewhere. You're doing too much.
And this, and here's the thing, like you know me, I do not like when people go after other people for their money, but this is business. Like because she could say her opinion, but she was destroying the original um, film. She's talking shit about the original one, which is the whole point of the new one. Doing that is bad for business. That's why she got fired. You're taking away all our potential eyes because at the same time nobody had to know all the changes we made. Some people don't even look at trailers or any information or anything like that. They just see the title and like, oh, I remember that when I was a kid, and they could jump in. So even if they tried to squeeze in this woke shit, if she didn't say nothing, people would have got in. A good amount of people would have gone in at least for the first week, you know. But because she couldn't shut the fuck up about this, and keep stamping down on this, like it wasn't even. It was less about her talking woke and more about her talking shit about the original product. That's what cost her job. And now people remember her for this shit, know her true mindset, and be like, "Oh, I ain't watching shit, anything you're in now." Because like Process said, when it comes to the Hunger Games, it would be nice to know the origin, but knowing how things go these days and she's in it, now people have to worry.
I'm gonna just piggyback off of D Wolf. Should have shut the fuck up. Like, it wasn't even the fact that you was kind of explaining the movie and you somewhat ruined it, and even kind of as you even kind of sort of spoiled it. It was just like it's not your regular Snow White where it's just like she is the quote unquote damsel in distress, and you know, she was more or less of a Mary Sue, which already threw a couple people off. And it's not even the fact that they was trying to do something different, like not have seven dwarfs, but like one dwarf and all the other stuff. Like, I think even most people, even though a lot of people said, you know, this is the one person who could have been white, like Snow White could have been white, and then y'all made her Latina. You know, people was going to let that slide too, but like you just kept running your mouth
Yeah,
to
she could
where
have just
not
have a
only
fair
you,
stint and be
yeah,
Latina. That could have slid. That could have made it through.
yeah, that really could. I was like, hell, Gal Gadot would have been Snow White. People would have been fine, but and she's playing the
The
evil. What was it?
evil
The
queen.
evil
Yeah, and she
witch.
looks. Yeah, I think I shared this today. I don't remember where I shared it, but they show like a. I don't think it must have been yesterday, but it was like a side by side of them, and like it was so it was funny because we know how Gal Gadot looks, we know how she looks, and they put the pictures by side, and they put the evil queen's quote, and you're like, wait a minute, but the queen looks way better than how what she jealous of. That already takes away from the plot of the movie. Like, there's nothing to be jealous of, yo.
I
You
said the
are
same thing.
gorgeous.
I hate to be that dude, but I did say the same thing. I was like, if I had to choose between her and Gal Gadot, I'm going with Gal Gadot. I was
Yeah,
like, and I'm being nice about it. And the girl's not ugly. It's just that you're just not Gal Gadot.
the
So
comparison, yeah.
yeah,
Damn.
it's just like I said, I'm not trying to be mean, but if you'd have saw it, you'd have been like, yeah, I'd have gone with Gal Gadot. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, I mean, I understand like sometimes you're young because I feel like Tom Holland was about to do the same thing with Spider-Man, but I don't know if this was just them playing with. But you know, like he was about to spoil the movie a couple times, and like
Oh yeah,
Don Cheadle had to shut him up a couple times. It's just like
yeah. Him and the guy that plays Ruffalo. Him and Mark Ruffalo, they have
yeah,
a
him and
bad
Mark
habit of
Ruffalo.
spoiling shit. Yeah. That's why they're never alone in interviews. Like somebody has to be with them to shut them up.
Yeah, especially like Don Cheadle because he's well seasoned. He knows how to explain the movie without spoiling it. And I understand Tom
Hmm.
Holland's young, so
Yeah,
the
excited.
excitement the excitement could get to you, but it's just like yo, you don't want to you don't want to fuck
Like
up the movie.
Ruffalo fucking spoiled and no, he spoiled Infinity. I'm like, oh no, he fucking did it. He's like, yeah, everybody dies. I was like, and I think it wasn't Don Cheadle. He looked at him. He's like, yo, what? And he's like, what was I not supposed to? I'm like, yo, chill. Fucking. Oh man.
Yeah,
That
that
was
was
funny.
funny. That was funny. But like any future actor, like future young actor, let this be a lesson to you. Just like yo, have some decorum. And sometimes don't go out. You don't have to talk to every troll. And I understand this is like a newer generation, so most of the newer kids, you know, they'll see a troll on Twitter, they just gotta respond or some shit like that. It's like do what the old heads do. I'd just like have someone else run your uh social media platforms or just don't respond at all. So,
All I'm gonna say is the Fifth Amendment exists for a fucking reason.
1, 2, 3,
That's
4.
all I'm gonna say.
Okay. Any last words before we move on to our next topic?
Everything will goes to shit.
Go woke, go broke. I guess. Um.
Yep.
So, any of y'all familiar with the whole Danny Masterson situation?
uh,
No, I'm not.
uh,
Okay, Danny Masterson, or AKA High from that '70s show. He
Oh yeah. Go
yeah,
ahead.
he basically sentenced to jail for R wording two women or something like that. So and it's more or less likely, and as Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher as as their friend, they know that they like put these letters in, like they know each other. He was a good guy that was trying to get him off. He ended up being guilty, and everybody kind of like went at Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher to the point where Ashton Kutcher had to step down because most people don't know he has an organization, and he was a um, board chairman of Thorn, a nonprofit he co-founded over a decade ago to combat child sexual exploitation, and he had to step down from that. And now there's people that are mad at people for making Ashton Kutcher step down from that situation for defending a friend that he either knew or did not know he was doing these things. So I wanted to hear
Well,
your thoughts about this.
um, so
I'll
let
go
me get this
last.
straight. So someone who's known someone else on a personal level decided to defend them, even though it's proven that many times when celebrities have been accused of raping someone, comes to find out the women were paid to say that they were, corroded. They'll give their uh rape allegation and bring it back and all of that stuff. Like, okay, so who's the um who's the celebrity that got accused of beating up his girlfriend, and
Jonathan
then
Majors?
is it him? He's the
That's the
one that
most
played in
recent one.
Marvel.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
Yeah.
goes
that,
out.
that was
Okay.
Kane and Ant Man. Yeah, Jonathan
Yeah,
Majors.
right.
Yeah, Jonathan
So
Majors.
we don't look at that as an example that, hey, this man could be, you know, not even in a situation where he did do something. Maybe the girls just wanted to pin something on him. Everything is alleged until he goes to trial, no? So if Ashton Kutcher is being there for his friend, the same way he's being there for his organization, and they're now telling him to step down when the trial is not, has he been found guilty? Is the trial still going on? I'm sorry.
He's
They
been
just
found
said he
guilty.
was not guilty.
He's been found guilty.
Guilty.
He's been
Yes.
found
He,
guilty.
and he is. It's not. It's not conjecture. But
Mm. So I'm just saying that, if you have a friend and you don't know what the fuck's going on, but they ask you to be in court for them and you just disappear, what the fuck that looks like? You look like a flake. Then I would say to step down from the organization because you can't keep your word there. So with someone you knew all your life, most of the time. So why would I want you in this organization? I mean, people's morale, people are looking at it backwards, in my opinion. Oh my God.
from face value, like I'm go, I'm going up, I'm going from two minds here. Like, so we're gonna go outside of what I know. So I'm gonna tell you my perspective from what everybody else has heard. Yeah, I don't see how you can make him step down for defending his friend, and especially when he explained with his wife that no, the parents asked us because we're friends. He is his mentor. He is Ashton Kutcher's mentor since that '70s show. So he is where he is because of that guy. So the parents asked him to, all right, he is guilty. That's fine, but I want you and your wife and everybody that he's, helped up in the business and stuff like that. Just put in a good word, just for the judge. That as a parent, don't matter what's guilty or not. As a parent, you're gonna do this. You're gonna say this. You're gonna find what you're gonna help your child no matter what. Okay, bad or good, it don't matter. You're gonna try, right? So it makes sense. So if I was put in that position, if I was Kutcher or Kunis or any of them, I'd probably do the same thing. I'm not taking away from the victims because I understood that when they responded. I was like, yeah, it actually makes sense. He's not. None of them said he's some saint or anything like that. It's because okay, outside of this, what he has done for me and us, this is why we are where we are. We have to put that in consideration. That's what they did. I don't agree that what he did is okay, but it makes sense. If you think of that for doing something like that, I don't think they should like hang Ashton and his wife and whoever did it for that. Because it makes sense. That's not the same as not condemning the dude for doing what he did. All right, that's my opinion outside of knowing what I know about these guys. Okay, with what I do know now, and from testimony from exes and stuff like that, I'll start from when I first heard about Ashton being involved in this organization. I was actually happy about it because I'm like, oh shit, there's a celebrity that's actually going against this shit. Okay, cool. I used to say that. Then I started noticing things he was wearing. Then I went down that rabbit hole, certain symbols and shit. Like I was saying to myself, huh, okay, you're about saving these children, but at the same time, you're wearing the symbols of the people who are actually the opposite of that. But I can't let. I was like, nah, you know what? I can't let that be the only thing that swayed my opinion because this is a good thing. You might be one of the ones who ain't involved in this shit and might care. There's other aspects of the other organization that I see you repping that don't have anything to do with this, although normally this is what they're into too. But I was like, I can't just put you in that. I don't know you. I don't know everything you're doing. So fast forward to me learn because I didn't know any of this about him being his mentor and shit like that. I didn't know that. So then I did my research after when this case went out, and I was like, okay, you have exes who read your text to this guy about doing something to this woman who eventually died. And it's funny that right after she died, you got punked. You started being in more movies. You got more famous and shit like that. And in that text, the girl was referring to who he was texting was Masterson. They were planning on doing something to this chick that was trying to get up in the business as well. And her ex broke up with him because of what they were planning to do. They never revealed what it was, but it was dark enough for her not to do it. And it was dark enough for her to be dead like the week after she found out about it. Right? And then when you look into what Masterson was doing and knowing how close those two were, him and Ashton, I'm like, so how could you be running or behind an organization like this and be this close to Masterson? That's your mentor, yo. Y'all know everything about each other. All right? Let's not play games here. So now I'm like, oh, okay. Now I'm like, okay, and this goes into the whole Scientology rabbit hole too, because that's what Masterson was in, and everybody he was associated with knows this, and this is what solidified, okay, that he is guilty, and that's what made me know, oh, so Ashton ain't some angel after all, because you're involved with allegedly involved with the death of someone back in the day that everybody was talking about, but then you got punked, and then you got, oh shit, he got knocked out. What was that on my end? Hello?
Give Ray a moment.
Yeah. Oh wait.
I'm surprised Fada hasn't joined us either. Shoot. Something weird always happens when we start talking about the interesting shit.
Yep.
Let's see, this how you know this how you know when you saying some things that don't need to be said. You stepping on some toes, you know.
Yep.
My motor got cut off. I probably missed all what y'all was saying, but I hope it was good.
I ain't say much. I stopped when I saw you
He
go out.
Oh, so
But yeah, yeah. I just now I know like the fact that he was kicked out makes sense. I actually agree now with the information I know about Ashton Kutcher, but pretending I didn't know any of this from face value, I'm like that was fucked up. But now I know, so he basically deserves it. With what I know, he deserves to be in jail. But outside of that, yeah, this is nothing compared. And I'm surprised. I'm sure this is like I know people who love uh, Mila Kunis too, and I'm like, oh boy, huh.
that whole
So,
That 70 show is funny. Now it's just
oh
like,
yeah,
and I'm like, oh man, I hate the fact that he did that. Like that's some scumbaggery shit. And
well, he was groomed like that too. That's the other thing. That's what I found out. His parents were like that.
oh really?
Yeah,
Oh, that's even worse. I hate. Oh
His
god.
parents
and when
was
you
like
find out like the
what?
origins of Scientology, you're like, oh, it makes sense. So, yo, I'm so lucky. Yo, I feel so blessed. Like I know I've heard of people who had to deliver there when I was doing Grubhub back in LA, and like I will like I always pass by that building and I used to pray nobody order food from in there, yo. Because I knew about that place even back in LA. I was like, I'm canceling that order. I'm not going in there, yo. Luckily, I never did, but I know people that have, and I heard stories, and I'm like, yo, they felt like a weird energy there, and
I'm
Mhm.
so glad that
yeah,
Scientology craze is done. Like that.
There's
yeah.
still
After
a
What
that
just
chick
happened?
from
one in New York City.
King of Queens revealed everything, it kind of died down.
That's a good
Oh
thing.
shit. Okay. Any last words before we move on to our next topic?
Okay.
Yo,
I'm
mind the
sorry.
children.
Just he was being weird to me.
Uh, I said any last word before we move on to our next topic. That's what I said. Yeah. Uh, protect your children. That's what I'm gonna say. So,
Yep.
protect these kids. All
Mind
right.
the kids, yo. Mind the kids.
Mind the kids. Okay. Um. Now we are going to get to what was the main story of last week, and I kind of like brushed it this week again because I fell asleep. Y'all know, y'all heard about people dragging Tyler Perry, Perry last week, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
for those, okay,
Tyler
for
Perry
those,
always getting dragged. What is it now?
okay, you probably seen this video, so I'm gonna play it anyway. But for those that like Dion was under a rock, um, Tyler Perry, I guess he was on an interview and he said this. Now I'm gonna play this and then I'm gonna ask y'all a question because it's always like where someone talks about this specific topic, it goes to me like the least common denominator, and I feel like when people talk about this topic, we're not talking about the least common denominator. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this video, and I want to get your opinions.
Okay, I can't hear what he's saying for some reason. Am I the only one having an issue hearing this, or
Yeah, I don't hear it, but I'm reading it, but I don't know.
Did y'all heard that right? Or
No, we didn't
no?
hear it.
you could have
He
thought,
read
damn
it
it.
though.
It's the audio. God damn. Okay,
Like, we read the caption, but
okay, y'all read the caption. So basically, he was talking about that. He basically said if the man, like, if you got a good man that loves and cherishes you and treats you right, and basically does good by you, but you make more than him, and it's just like it was about finding love and all that other stuff. So um it's like if all he could do is pay the water bill, that's fine. And things like that.
ugh.
And a lot of women took that as him saying settle, like black women should settle for less.
Mm.
So
Wow.
Bill, baby, you can take me to dinner every now and then.
Mhm.
That is fine.
yeah, hear that?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, we can hear
fine.
it.
All right.
Yeah.
Yo.
But that's so hard for a lot of people to take in because that means no. I need somebody to. So if you can find love, if that man works, at whatever job
Mhm.
and is a good man and is good to you
Mhm.
and honors the house and honors his wife and does what he can
Mhm.
because his gift may not be your gift.
Exactly.
That is okay.
Mhm.
That's not somebody who's beneath you.
Yeah.
That's somebody who came to love you at your worth,
Mhm.
right?
Yes.
And as long as he's secure in himself to know that, yep, she makes most of the money. All I can pay is the light bill. As long as she's comfortable enough to say, I'm going to cover the mortgage and all the other stuff. You can handle the light bill, baby. You can take me to dinner every now and then.
Mhm.
That is fine.
Okay, I'm gonna just stop it right there because
Yo.
now with that being said, and there's a lot of black women that saw the same thing and thought he was telling black women to settle. So I wanted to come to the panel, and y'all could be as honest as y'all can. Um, did that sound like settling to y'all?
No.
Oh.
Okay, so why do y'all think that because usually when
Okay.
things like this is brung up and uh yada yada, black women always assume that men are telling other black women or just women in general to settle for less or just basically settle.
Yo. It's
First, okay, go ahead.
no. No.
Um,
Go. Go.
Oh no, you was gonna go, so you need to go.
Son.
okay.
I'm like, he's just saying, like, straight up and down. All he said was, it's okay. Understand? He didn't say that's what you should strive for or deal with all the time. He didn't say, he didn't really give an opinion like that. He just said, if that's a scenario, that's what from what this is my perspective from seeing this, is that he's saying that's okay if that's what exists. If he cannot make more, if his level of success is lower than yours, but he's capable of doing this for you. If that's like, you just think about it and be like, is that enough for me? If it is, well, it's okay. If it's not, okay, move on. Find someone. He didn't say all that, but from what I'm hearing, all he said was, it's okay. So now, for that conclusion to be had from these women, I'm like, why do you, why do you have this expectation that we want you to do so much and say like, what's making you think this? He just said it's okay. There are people out there like that exist, which is, I would believe, why he said it's okay, and they're happy, right? I'm sure some of us have come across couples like that. So
hmm
these people, like, yo, whoever these, yo, huh? Just understand that the problem, because I'm like, yo, you're gonna make it seem like he's like, and I'm a person. Understand, yo, I'm not a fan of the guy. All right, I don't like his work. You know, I don't know him personally, so I don't hate him. So like, if I agree about something, like I'm gonna say, all right, yeah, you know what? Yeah, all right. Yo,
I
so I don't understand. Yo, like these, like maybe I'm not a woman, so maybe one of you can explain where this is coming from because
I
I can
think,
say shit, but I don't want to hurt no feelings. So you go.
may I? May I?
mm-hmm.
I I think what this is a case of is him, plain and simple, him trying to say one thing, and because of the way he worded it, it got taken as another. I get I get what he was attempting to say, but he could have went about it way differently.
Yeah. Yeah.
To kind of clarify on where I think he was going with this, let me ask a question of my own to the women. Would you rather have the average man who treats you like a queen, pretty much worships the ground you walk on, or the rich dude who treats you like trash?
Mm.
That's like, would you rather cry in a Benz or a Honda Civic?
It's
It's
a
like
loaded question
it's like,
because
but you're crying.
realistically, from what the red pill community says, what average men of different cultures say, they say that the black woman cannot get a rich man. So to answer that question is kind of like unrealistic from my point of view. So I would say I would want the guy that, you know, worships the ground I work on, but works with me because we're both broke at that moment. Or if I have money, I'm looking for him to help me invest it in things. And I just think what's happening to black women in general, we're constantly saying, okay, I think black women should settle. So when we do settle, we end up settling with a guy that's not only broke, but uneducated and ain't going nowhere in life.
No
And
ambition.
right. Or we go out with the potential. So telling, signaling, sig, signal, oh my God, I can't speak. Signaling out black women alone, I think is kind of ridiculous. I think he should have said women in general, because as we can see, it's not just a black woman thing, and it's not even a black woman thing, period. If anything, were we not told on media and in TV and all of this shit that nobody wants us? So to say, oh, we need to settle is not, I agree, is not more settling as it is to, you should be telling black women, okay, get the best man that you can get and make a sound decision. And you know, the more educated a black woman is, the less likely or she's going to let anyone just impregnate her. He has to have a plan and he has to show her the plan. That's educated black women. The ones that I think are really like going off at him is because they're dealing with trauma and they're seeing things being repeated. Like, okay, I settled and I was making more money than this dude, but honey, you was working at Walmart. Not that there's anything against that. And he was just home doing nothing because you thought you could save his ass because of whatever childhood drama you had growing up or
Mm.
daddy issues you fucking had. So the perception of why a lot of black women are attacking him or have the time to attack him is mainly because they are seeing and hearing things that they've already done. You get what I'm saying? Just like the red pill movement, you know how it's like rich guys this and rich guys that. But you got a guy at a bookstore getting paid, what, $9 an hour, saying he's rich. Everybody's definition is different. He should have been more clear cut, and he should have never brought black women into anything because, as far as statistics go, based on the marriage results, black women are the highest ones to divorce, but black women are the highest to have their education. And it's statistically known that the more educated a woman is, especially if she's black, she's not going to stick with a man that ain't going nowhere in life. So he needed to be clear cut, and he was not clear cut at all.
I, but I have a question. Um, you said you should have been clear cut. Oh, I was thinking, wouldn't the alternative be what you're saying anyway? So wouldn't it go without saying? So I wouldn't expect him to have to say it because that's the only alternative to what he was saying.
Explain further.
The alternative to what he was saying was exactly what you were saying. Like their perspective is that the men should be rich and provide and this that, and the other. That's already the default. So, but you're saying that he should have said that when he's speaking, especially if he's speaking to black women. If I'm correct here, so I'm
I
saying
never, I know.
why should he have to say that? Because I assume he knows because he's given an alternative. That's why it's a whole controversy. So I'm saying that's the only alternative. So did he really have to say that? Wouldn't we expect him
I
to know
never,
that? That's
I
why he
never
said it.
said the men have to be rich. What I said
Oh no.
in
Well,
summary,
whatever. Say yeah. Repeat what you said so I can make sure.
basically in summary, what I'm saying is that if other cultural of women are not pinpointed, oh, the Indian women should do this, settle, or the white women should settle, and you making it a black thing, but we're not even on the level based off of media fuckery of being with anyone because we're just so bad. So what he needs to pinpoint is what type of woman you're speaking of. He said rich. Okay, realistically, just putting it out there, there's a small percentage of black women that actually know how to invest their money to be considered wealthy or rich. So he's speaking to a small portion. So the women typically that's attacking him are the ones that did settle, and they're taking it in and saying, okay, well, my perception of what rich is that I'm making all the money and doing all the wifely duties without being married, and I am settling and I'm pushing forward. Like it's a whole line of uh, things that are crosshair in this conversation when it comes to him pinpointing black women should do this and should do that. Mostly the ones that are educated, that are making a lot of money, the reason they're not settling, okay, is because the other cultures did not have to settle. And the definition of what settling is different for everyone. If you have a black woman that said, I ain't gonna be like my mother, I'm not going to be having to live from paycheck to paycheck. I'm going to be a doctor. Okay. And she's a doctor. And because of whatever fucking media has fucked up her image, and it takes someone who can look past her skin complexion to say, okay, I'm going to date this woman, right? Then she can have the pick of the litter. But what's happening, okay, is that they feel, okay, well, this black woman, she's black, she should take anything she gets. And she saw her mom, her aunt, her grandmother do the settling. So that's why everybody is like going at him, because to signal out a race as if it's not happening to every woman on every different scale of every different color, that's where the message was definitely lost in translation. And you know how they perceive black women of all different skin complexions. So to say black women need to settle is ridiculous, and the message is lost in translation, big time.
Is this about the Tyler Perry thing? Like,
Materializer into the chat. What's going on, B? How you feeling?
hey, well, I kind of entered a long time ago. I done heard D Wolf side, I heard Dion's side, I heard Crystal side. I'm kind of confused. Or is this still about the Tyler Perry where he had the little talk with the girl? and then
Yes,
everyone was in an uproar about.
yes, yes, yes. It is.
Uh,
Um,
I
yeah.
didn't. I till even though I think we talked about it, and I already forgot about so bad. I completely forgot exactly what he said. I just knew he was. It was something about settle. That's why I was like, it must be the type of thing. But I'm like, I don't understand. Like, I, I have truly in my heart believed that black women, for some odd reason, we're the only set of emotional human beings. Because for some odd reason, everybody seems to like want to throw something towards us. It's always something. And we're the only one that feel the need to respond back or like, like fight for our honor, fight for our cause. And at this point, it's starting to get like draining because if it's like, first of all, getting relationship advice from Tyler Perry has never been the place to go. First of all, if you want to give out relationship advice, he literally is like next door neighbors to Oprah Winfrey, and she still ain't married to her long time, decade old husband slash boyfriend slash friends with benefits, whatever the hell they got going on. He was married, got divorced. Um, did his wife settle with him or something, or like I don't his ex wife like? So I don't even understand like why we take things that people who are so far removed from society and like feel like they're justified to give us advice, and especially a man giving advice to women. I don't care if he was in the Medea training gear on. It's still a man giving advice to women in regards to like what they should do. Like give those advice to your men. Tell them they need to settle into marriage, settle with the next female they meet at the courthouse. 'Cause it really does not matter. Like a hit dog hollers, and if the shoe doesn't fit, let it slide. And so I don't know why, for some odd reason, his message is not retaining for me.
Uh, is there everybody got what they needed to say out the way before I start?
Yeah, I didn't think I had to go that deep. I just thought it's like,
Okay.
yeah, that's okay. That's all I heard was like, that's okay. I didn't hear have to or anything. All right, because I'm like, I'm in no way like saying that's what women should strive for. You know, I'm just saying if that's the case, and like, but you find the love, you find what you want. If that's all you do, you boo. That's where I am. So I thought that's what he was doing. I didn't go that far as to thinking like he's telling people what to do. You know, I didn't go that far. Maybe he is, and I missed that. Because then I'm like, you shouldn't. I'm not. I don't. I'm not about telling people what to do. I'm like just giving information out and giving your opinion on something. So, but I didn't get that from him. So, but if that's the case, okay.
Okay.
I'm on
I
the
hate.
phone. I wish I could see what your little gift, man.
Okay. All right. I hate the word settle. I've always said this. I've
Me
hate the
too.
word settle. There's just some words that I feel like there's just trigger words that is just going to get people angry, whether you know the meaning of the word or not. There are just some words that just doesn't sound good when you say it. Like you should just settle for less. Like settle is just one of those words. And like even though like I'm looking at dictionary.com and the word settle as a verb to appoint, fix, or resolve, definitely or and conclusively agreed upon as time, price, or conditions, or to place in a desired state or in order. Now, I've always said we should, as you know, as a people, we shouldn't use the word settle. We should use the word compromise. It's like, because at least when you compromise, you're going to get something out of the bargain. Usually, when people hear settle, they're not getting anything out of it. They're just taking what you have and then just being okay with it. Which
Yeah,
I
stealing.
understand a lot of, which I understand a lot of people are not going to be okay with dating a bum. First things first, and I've said this plenty of times, no one is telling black women to date bums. There have been plenty of arguments because of black men talking about these pookies and these ray rays who are the quote unquote bums of the black community that people be fucking with. That y'all keep fucking with these people that fuck you over, and these are the people you fucking with. Now I understand, attractiveness is one thing. So you don't have to be with someone you don't have to attracted to, or they don't have to do it. But no one is telling you to date a bum either. Okay, he may not, that man may not, all he could pay for is the water bill or the light bill for now. That man could pay all you pay for the light bill. But in 10 years, that man could probably, get money to, pay for the mortgage. All right, where he is at one point is not where he's going to be is 10 years ago, unless that man has no ambition, no work ethic, and none of that. The thing about what Tyler Perry, and I feel like everybody is just overlooked or just really didn't care about. He said if he got you a good man that treats you right, that will work with you, that understands that you make the most money, and he's probably not going to run anything on your dime, but he will worship the ground you work on. He will bring you love. He will treat you like the woman he wants you to treat. Now. And it's like if all he could pay is the light bill for now, but he shows you love, that is fine. That is what he said. He ain't saying nothing about go fuck a bum, go fuck with Pookie and Ray Ray. Just be with Pookie and Ray. None of that was said. And I feel like that's where a lot of people get this confusion, and this is why we have this so-called gender wars. And no one, and I feel like this is what like words like settle, it's like a trigger point for anybody. And it's just like with that, I feel like people just drown out everything else he done said, and you just sit with one word. He didn't even say settle. But for some reason, a lot of people, especially the video clip that I got from, like she was basically going on a rant about Tyler Perry, her and a bunch of other black women, and it was talking about, oh, he wants you to settle for these dusties and these bums and all that other stuff. It's like, which he didn't fucking say. Now, for one thing, like, and I'm gonna put this scenario out here because I've seen this. Because I think this was actually I seen this on an article. The man is a shoe. He worked at Shoe City or some shoe store. The woman was a surgeon. They was married, and obviously, you're a surgeon. You making buku money compared to being a manager at Shoe City or wherever shoe store he worked at. Their marriage works together. Their marriage works fine because they understand that this woman, like, she went to college to be a surgeon, and he's just a shoe salesman. But they love each other. Their marriage works. It's been fine. Now, due to now, some women are hypergamous by nature. There's some things we cannot help. Because, like I said, if a woman is making 100K, you damn sure better be making 100K. Because if a man is making 100K, and if he's making enough to support him and the wife or the girlfriend, 9 times out of 10, he's going to be like, baby, you ain't got to work that job. Just stay home. I take care of you. You just got to, make sure the house is clean, make sure the food, all the other stuff. If you want to have that type of commitment. But for as far as, dating your dating preferences, we need to stop using the word settle. Use the word compromise. At least with a compromise or a negotiation, you're at least going to get what you want. Okay, you all. If you can only pay the light bill now, okay, I'm gonna need you to at least find a job that you can put yourself in a better position to support this family. If you want to lead this family like you said you are, you need to get from here to here, and I need you to get from here to here. And if he has enough work and he has enough ambition and he has enough willpower to do that, that man is going to do that. Because anybody knows, any man with ambition, he's going to make sure that him and his woman and his future kids is going to be okay. That's the type of people you need to be dating. Someone that has ambition. Like, no, like, this is, I know, like, a lot of people have their gripes about the red pill, but a lot of the red pill people they have said that no one wants you to date a bum. As a matter of fact, if anything, the red pill, or at least what it's supposed to be, the first thing they tell the men is you can't be bums. You got to get up. You got to get your money. You got to get your mind right. You got to get your health right. You got to get your money right because these women are not going to make you settle for less. And women in general, and this is why, like, women to me, women are important. The women are not going to make you settle for less anyway. Because it's not in their nature. I know most people can be happy with it is, but usually when you're with a woman, your woman wants you to do better because she sees something in you that you may not see yourself in. Men, I'm not going to say we're complacent, but we can get real comfortable real quick, which is why like a bachelor pad has nothing in it but a TV and light and a bed. But if you go to a woman's place, they got furniture out the wazoo. Like, if anybody's seeing like a difference between a single woman's house, like I could go to my sister's house. My sister's house has, like, she just got a place. That shit is decorated to the nines.
Yep.
Now my sister got a man, but either way, but all my other sisters, when anytime they get in new places, they get new beds, they get places that fill out the joint. Like I'm not gonna run. One of my rooms, I had nothing but a bed and TV, and I was cool because I was single. But when I had like a girl at the time, like I started putting stuff in, to make not only my room more comfortable, but my ex-girlfriend's my ex-girl more comfortable so she could come around and be in there. It's just something you do. You're going to naturally evolve. You're going to naturally improve. You're going to naturally have better taste. So I want us as a people, especially black people, stop using the word settle, please. Yeah, because it gives us more problems than it is. And that's my rant on that. Any last words before we move on to another topic?
Amen.
Let's keep rolling.
Thank you. God, I'm sorry. Like, it's one of those trigger words. That's another one of those words that I'm going to put under we should stop using. Words we should stop using. Other than like what high value man and red pills under and blue face and Krishan Rock. These are words that I don't want to hear. No.
Oh shit.
On to the next one. And keeping in this type of realm. Did y'all hear what Ebony K. Williams was saying this time?
Damn, no.
Mm-hmm.
I heard it.
You heard it?
Oh,
So
I caught the little clip. Isn't that
okay.
the same one with the bus driver lady?
Yeah, yes. And now, yes, and now this time, and a lot of people kind of consider this as backtracking, but I'm not sure, but I'm gonna let y'all decide.
I'm confused as to how people come up with backtracking, but let's see this clip.
I don't think of it as backtracking either, but there's some people that think it's backtracking.
Reality that needs to be said out loud is that as Black men age, their desirability increases. Thus, their optionality of women is always expanding. And the exact opposite is true for Black women. Mm-hmm. As we age, doesn't matter how much money we accumulate, our degrees or professional accolades, the reality is that our marriage and partnership market value is depreciating with every passing year.
Damn.
No matter how good we look, no matter how fit we are, Men are still seeing primarily our presumed dwindling fertility as a knock against us. And speaking of fertility, that is another reason that I want younger Black women to seek marriage and partnership in college or right after, if that's what they choose. Because the number of college-educated Black men is so low when compared to Black college-educated women.
So this is the most recent numbers from the U.S. Census Bureau in regards to education. If you look at the highlighted area right there, if we break down, break the data down by gender, we find that 24.9% of African American men and 30.8% of African American women over the age of 25 have attained at least a bachelor's degree. Some 1.5 million Black women earned a master's degree, but no higher degree. Currently, there is a 5.9% difference in regards to degree obtainment from Black women to Black men. And as you guys know, and I've stated this multiple times, every race of women has more degrees than their male counterparts. However, every race of men out-earn their women.
That we're all going to be targeting the same small pool of men. And as we heard today, on most campuses, there's like 7 Black women students for every 1 Black man student. Y'all do the math. So here's my advice. If you are a young Black woman in college and you know in your heart and in your head that you want to prioritize family, I suggest that you simultaneously pursue that MRS degree right along with that BA or JD.
That's basically it. Basically, she's saying if you prioritize family, go get the degree and try to get married. And a lot of people kind of look at that as backtracking. So, thoughts about that?
I don't think it's backtracking, but I think she ain't speaking. Well, to be honest, it's only the Black people who's struggling in that department. Because every other race, they marrying them out of college, out of high school, um, getting their MRS degree, or out of high school and college.
You know,
Now, some of them, they getting even younger. The parents are letting them married by 15. It don't matter if by 20 they divorced, but at this point, these white kids getting married, they trying to pass a law to get them married even younger. All right. So
Yeah,
it's only in the Black
that's
department
not.
that we are struggling. Like we're not struggling because there's honestly a lot of Black doctors that's married to Black doctor women. It's a lot of people, but a lot of problem is people go to college and a lot of us don't get married, or we don't get these high school sweethearts are dust buckets. And by the
Yo,
time they get to college, half of them couldn't even do good at school in high school, even the athletic ones. They was failing. So it's like, and we're too focused on trying to figure out life to be out here trying to educate and train and teach and maneuver another human being at the same time. And so we miss the mark. Well, I think for her, Ebony is going back on, she's not backtracking. She probably regretting the fact that she ain't married her college sweetheart. She got that master's degree, probably almost 40 years old now, and still ain't married. And the guy she thought she was gonna marry and wasted half her time with ain't married her. So she probably just like, dang, I should just marry that dude in college that was fooling me like crazy. But now he's married, and it's kind of late. But oh well. But I don't think she said anything wrong because, to be honest, most of these like us back then, we didn't realize how horrible it was. Like if I knew how great it would be to be a housewife, I probably got married at 12.
Huh.
Okay, so let me ask before y'all answer. Let me ask B and Crystal this question. And if I asked this question before, I apologize. Why does it seem like y'all have to choose one or the other, and why can't y'all do both?
But be a housewife and work.
Or at least like get your degree and get married, because I've always seen like, and I've talked to a couple people who's just like, I don't want to be in a relationship because I want to focus on my career, and it's just like, why can't you? And I've always asked, why can't you do both? So
Honestly speaking, a lot of us don't have the opportunity to do both. It's not like you can go to college full time and not work. Like honestly speaking, most people, like especially in the black community, most of us, our parents did not structurally prepare us for like financial freedom in college. A lot of these kids did not have to even think about scholarships, going to college, or think about having to carry 2 or 3 jobs. Most of these kids, most of the black kids, a few white kids, a few Hispanic kids, a few like um Asian kids, some of them might have to carry a job or two. But some of these black kids, they carry about 3, 4 jobs. Plus, they're still having to actively be a school student and do homework and carry a few loans coming out the door. A lot of these kids, they didn't even have to worry about financial freedom. So they had time to sit there and look at boyfriends and look at the guys that were sitting in their classrooms. Most kids, they were like, okay, they probably do 1 or 2 classes online and the rest they have to do. I mean, they just in the classroom, the rest they had to do online stuff. It's not the fact that we didn't have the, like we didn't want to. Sometimes the option just was not there. And you didn't have the time, like a lot of these kids didn't have the time to like really look at boys or like try. Because once you get into school, you have to be focused compared to like high school where you had the luxury of living free. You just, I can't say that for everybody because some people was working 2, 3 jobs in high school too. So I can't even speak for some. It was kids I seen that was working crazy, and I was like, wow. I've never
Um,
Don't.
had carried a
oh,
job in high school, so I can't even speak on those type of lifestyles.
okay, so the reason why most women, or at least I'll just speak for myself, the reason why being a housewife and uh, trying to get a degree is not reachable or obtainable is because some people don't fucking compromise. You see, when you get married at a young age, right? You're still discovering yourself. Number one, it costs money to get certain things for college. That's number two. And if you are with a man that's egotistical and his manhood is in his ball sack, he's going to try to get you pregnant. And when you are pregnant, it's all on you sometimes because compromising in a relationship, in a marriage, goes out the fucking window. Nobody's been married before. No one's prepared you mentally of what you would have to deal with just as a woman with kids and postpartum and all this other shit that you have to deal with,
That's
and then go
question.
to school just to work a job half the time just to get bills paid. Because you see, in most African American culture, we are not born wealthy. When I hear that another race of um, children are getting married as young as 14, duh, because they're looking to protect assets. They're looking to protect wealth. They're looking to transfer trust funds. It's kind of like, um, sometimes I watch these animes where they have to marry into another family to upgrade them. It's all a fucking game. You get what I'm saying? The court systems is making money off of marriage and all this shit, but that's neither here nor there. The main reason why being a housewife and trying to get a degree is hell. And I'm speaking from fucking experience because you see, I had to go to school. I had to pick up my child from daycare, two of them. Daycare was 600. Who's paying that shit? You think I get a discount if I'm working 3 jobs? No, they're going to be like, you working too much money and you're married, you should have it together. No, bitch, I don't. I need the food stamps. But okay, because I'm making 1 cent more, I'm not going to get eligible for it. Okay, whatever. But at the end of the
That's the
day,
thing.
Yeah, it's a struggle. And most women are breaking fucking cycles. They ain't trying to do what their auntie and mother did, living from paycheck to paycheck all over again. So if we go into it for a degree, we ain't going for the cheap fucking degree. We're going for that doctorate degree. We're gonna go for, well, not even a degree because they be fucking people over with that, but that's another story. We're going for that nursing degree. We're going for that lawyer degree, so we don't have to think twice. Hey, can I pay 3,000 in rent so my kids don't have to fight every day just to get to the doorstep? It's shit like that. If you get married in a situation where both parties are not financially capable of holding up, a reasonable, not rich lifestyle, a reasonable, sensible, community and family, and being able to pay groceries without thinking twice, the financial hardship will get people divorced. And let's face it, we have a high divorce rate already because nobody knows how to compromise. And some men in this generation are so egotistical, they really think by going outside and making the bread and bringing it home and not helping the woman with giving the children bath, uh, staying up all night with the children, helping them with their homework, washing dishes, say, okay, your wife made a whole dinner and she has to plan the dinner. It's a whole bundle of shit that women have to deal with when they're a wife. That title, it's like if your mother-in-law walks in the house and she sees the dishes not washed, she's quick to not look at her son that should be helping. She's quick to look, oh, what kind of wife did you marry? Look at the house, it's crazy. And you got two toddlers running around. It's not a joke. It mentally fucks with women. Women are the first ones to fucking go because we're so stressed out. And nobody sees that. If you have a man in your life that, if you get married and he says, okay, well, the rug needs vacuuming. Let me just pull out the vacuum. Perfect. If you see the children and you see your wife just sitting on the couch looking like she's in a fucking daze, or she's trying to drown it out by just watching a show, ask her how, what's going on with you. You usually you usually walking around, and so what's going on? Nobody really asks the women what's going on until she blows the fuck up, and then she's a nagger. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of factors that go into marriage that nobody really wants to talk about. And I'm not saying that it's all on the woman. You know what I'm saying? The men go through their shit too at work, having to give their family money. It's a lot of factors, but nobody is talking about the mental fuckery that you have to deal with just to start from scratch without having a silver spoon in your fucking mouth and not having the proper support system. I'm telling you, I would have been further along in my career if I had a proper family support system, but I don't. It was just me and my husband at the time. That's it. If someone needs to pick up the kid, uh, who you think's doing that? Just me. So yeah.
I'm gonna have to say, women actually outlive men. But no, I've just had a question. Um, aren't there situations where men have to actually do that, where there are situations where they have to go to school and they either have a significant other or have children, and then actually work at the same time to provide. And then eventually, as time goes on, you fast forward, he's built what he needed to build with that knowledge, and now I have to go in and, you are where you wanted to be. I'm just asking, isn't that a scenario that occurs as well? And also, I just wanted to say, like, the one thing she said that made me like, no, is the whole age thing. I'm like, well, if you're talking about black women, let's not go there with the looks thing. Like, I don't think so. But yeah, the other, yeah, they have to worry about it. They have to worry about that. That was just the one thing I said to myself, like, yeah, that, no, not with us. Sorry, white don't crack. I hate when people use that, like with us for some reason. Like, what's her name? Uh, Pearly Thing. I'm like, yo, keep that with you. Don't don't use us with that damn example every time or when they reach a certain age and shit like that. Like we don't deal with that like y'all do. Like yeah, it's a possibility, but our women they could be old. Like our women don't have to worry about that. I'm sorry. Stop throwing that with us. Don't throw us in there with that. Anyway, yeah, sorry. Yeah, but that
So
was
you
my
just
question.
came
Don't men
on.
have to do that too?
You just came on to be savage. So, at the end of the day, yes, but those kind of women, what do you call that for the woman doing that to support the man and while he goes to school and while he's, you know, doing what he needs to do? Do you think that she's compromising or do you think that she's sacrificing? And each scenario, everybody's different. There's different situations. So let's just say this particular situation is a woman who does not have her degree and have like 5 kids.
Compromise, what was I going to say? Sacrifice actually has no. Compromise actually has a bit of sacrifice in it. Is what I was gonna say, and there was something else you said I need to respond to. What was the first thing?
Well, you was asking if it's scenarios where men are supported and they are going to school.
Oh, you said
Are
what do you call those women?
Yeah, do you call that woman either sacrificing or compromising?
Oh yeah, then I said, but yeah, I don't see anything wrong.
Because you see, from society standards, not our standards, because realistically, like you said, it is what it is when it comes to culture and ethnicity. But um, if a woman is aging, right, and it's like, whoa, she's aging, she's depreciating in value because she's a materialistic object, um, yeah. Would you call that a sacrifice or her compromising? Because you see, if the man, as much as
Well,
he
if she,
ages, he's not going
mm,
to be devalued. But the woman, if she's aging and she goes for a job well, nursing is a bad opportunity. Let's say dancing. Maybe she wants to do a Broadway show one day and she needs to go to these particular classes. Um, would you
well, that
say
needs
that
to be
her
discussed.
holding back and supporting the man, that's a sacrifice? That's not really
Yeah, it
compromise
will be if that's
only.
not discussed because I think the man will be like, you know what, nah. If that's the factor, and if because what you're asking is like, are they committed for that to even be even considered? You know,
Right.
do they really love each other and trust each other to do that? Because if
Well,
they
not
love
only
each other and
that,
trust each other, it's not a sacrifice. It's more of a compromise, or if it's more of a like, okay, fine, I
right,
got you.
because a
Don't
man
worry
can get
about
a
it. You know.
job, not have to think twice about being pregnant or not being hired or discriminated against because they're pregnant. You know what I mean? It's just a woman. It's a lot of factors that go against the woman if she takes too long to get certain things. So when it comes to the man, and you have you're reasonable within a relationship, set a time frame, but nobody fucking discuss that. It's more like, well, I bring in the, I make all the
Yep.
money and I'm paying all the bills, so if I want to go to school, I've sacrificed enough. That's not a fucking sacrifice.
Well, that's
Yes,
why
you
it needs.
pay all the
That's why
bills, but goddamn, if I
communication is
want,
key because things need to be
right,
discussed.
I don't know how many housewives have said, hey, you know what? I feel like I need to get my degree, even if I don't use it. This is something I need to do. We come into this world not being attached to a man for happiness and
Hmm.
to literally be a housewife. We come into this world to nurture and to be someone's partner. You get what I'm saying? Or else we would have had the name of the man we're supposed to be with for the rest of our life tattooed on our ass when we came out of our mom's womb. We don't have that. And what's happening is that ego is playing a big part in ripping these marriages that should be about compromise. It's not it's not building up to what a marriage should be. It's more of a competition. Every time I see a divorce, it was about competition the whole fucking time. Nobody wanted to
and
compromise. They were very selfish in a relationship.
You
So
see
at
how
the
and
everybody's
and I
using
told you,
compromise? It's just lovely, right? You see how lovely the word compromise is? Not to cut you
yeah,
off, but you
yeah,
see
yeah.
how it just flows?
You can just have the conversation. Doesn't leave a bad taste in your mouth. You're good. You're chilling. You're
Yes.
right.
and no one's
Thank
attacked
you.
gender wise
And
because we
and
don't
I
do
told you
that.
this before, unfrosted. I told you this before. Like every guy, like if once they meet a woman, like their drive should be to be at a level where they don't. The woman doesn't have to do shit if she doesn't want to, right? So there's because the example you gave of them being afraid of like, okay, what if I get pregnant and I can't get and being discriminated against and shit like that. The guy, his goal is to make sure she doesn't have to worry about that at all. That's always been my thought. That's always been my thing when it comes to being with someone. Like you got to make sure that you're at that level when you're with someone. You know.
Yeah, but in this day and age, I think most marriages, and I could be wrong, and correct me if I'm wrong, most marriages ain't really about love. It's somewhat about love, but it's mainly about if I marry this man, am I going to break the cycle that my family's been through? Am I going to portray the marriage image versus what the fuck is marriage about? Do I need to get mental stability first before I go into a marriage? And do I need to love myself more? I think everybody should have a mental evaluation before they get married. And I think that, being a housewife should also be a course, and boundaries should be put up in being a housewife because there's so many of my friends that are housewives that are being fucking taken advantage of. And because of society standards, what I say to them, they don't get until 6 months later when they give me their problems. Okay? So it's more to being a housewife. It's about being with a man that is like Judge Lynn Taylor. I hope I'm saying her name right. The way she explained how her husband was, how he quit his job to go and, be with her in her dreams, and then she ended up getting on the television show. That is a compromise and a sacrifice, and both parties discussed it. His ego was out of the way.
Hmm.
But what kind of men do we have today? We have the type of men that say, well, I've been working, I can't stop my job. My sacrifice is for my job and for me to look like I'm taking care of the family versus your degree. You should be home just taking care of the kids, and when I get home, have my dinner cooked and the kids should be settled. And if they get too rancy, then I'm just going to go out with my friends and have a ball. Every scenario is different, but I'm just saying the reason the divorce rate is so high, I'm sure has a big factor in the woman not being heard or asked for how her day was, or her going through a mental check. Nobody really checks on the moms nowadays. Just saying.
So I
I
wanted
just love this.
to
Go ahead, B.
I wanted to respond about what D was said. Like you gotta be honest. How many men is that's gonna quit their job and be a full time, I guess, house
Stay at home,
dad,
dad.
stay at home dad, whatever. It's very few. Like compared to that scenario, I understand you say, well, there's that also that. It's very few. That scenario, most women, a lot of times, it's always the woman who tends to have to leave her job, or because they say, well, she's not getting paid that much. The reason why they were paying men more than women was because there's a possibility a woman can get pregnant, she'll leave the job, so if the company feels like the guy is more beneficial. It's very few men, unless the man is a single father. Then there's you know kids is kids. So it's understandable. Like things happen, he has to leave the job. He can't work here. He can't work there. Things happen with the kids. Your job starts to get irritated, especially when men is constantly having to take time off because there's a situation where kids they're like, well, where's the mom? Oh, they're single parents. So then there's like, the same concept they have for single mothers and for women is like, their burden. Like you're not 100% invested into the company or into the business or into anything because you always have to do something. Something came up. So the scenario that, yeah, there's a possibility that the man would have to one day, you know, perform the same duties that the mom would, but it's very few for that scenario to be like, oh, we should be able to like pinpoint the amount. It's not that often compared to the amount of women. Now, yeah, women are sacrificing less compared to how it was for like your grandparent era, your parents' era, where a woman was automatically set to have to sacrifice their job, have to like, compromise um to make sure that their husband, because he was the breadwinner, where she couldn't work, you know, 80 hours a week because her husband, she needs to make sure she was home to be able to pick up the kids or drop them off to school, or whatever. Daycare became so expensive that they felt like it was better to just homeschool the kids. So she had to quit her job and become a full-time teacher at home, plus a cook, a chef, uh, a maid, all that encompassed into the title of a wife. So, but now more men are like embracing and willing and excited to sit at home and do absolutely nothing but cook
Mhm.
food. And so many women just think it's okay and then fail to realize, like, because for some odd reason, it's very few, regardless of how much a woman can pretend that she is okay with her man being a stay-at-home bum, and it's a-okay with her. She can support that. She's willing. But the moment, just because the nature of a woman is, she will either one or two things happen. She will start to disrespect you or belittle you because she don't see you in the light. Even it don't matter if you had a job that made less than her. The fact that you was actively working and she had to there's things that you just have to figure out. Well, we're gonna have to put this kid in daycare, or I don't have the time to do that. So now she has to she has to set up time to make sure the kids are okay. She has to adjust the things. So then she puts value into you. But the moment you just become a stay at home, she feels like, because that's the same thing guys used to do to their wives, the ones that didn't go to work. You didn't see their like, high potential. So you was just like, you just added burden and burden and burden. Then you started disrespecting them. You started belittling them. Sometimes some guys have the tendency to like want to respect, but not every woman is the same way. She's not gonna always treat you nice because you sit at home and you take care of the kids, which would easily have cost her $600, $700, $2,000 a month on daycare and stuff. But she don't see that. She's not gonna see it. So when like I think yes, get them young. Go into the marriage lifestyle young. Get you your own place. Learn how to budget together. Learn how to grow and evolve together. Um, and I know you said you don't like the word. The fact is, settling, but it's also some people live in a state of delusion. So it's not truly settling. It's just you gotta understand, like sometimes your state of delusion is beyond reasonable doubt. It's out of control. Like it's surpassed compromising. It's surpassed understanding. It's surpassed justification. At this point, you a psycho to think with 20 kids on the back of your back, a high value man is where you need to be at. You need to be happy with a man that's still willing. At this point, we need to all be happy with a man that's willing to work because it's starting to become less. Because these women, like the number is telling us that women are eventually gonna surpass men in income. Right now, is we're not completely 100% there, but eventually the woman will surpass men in income because less men are wanting to work.
Uh, okay. I wouldn't say less men are. This is just my opinion. I could be wrong. I don't think that less men are willing to work. I just think that most men, a lot of our jobs is usually physical jobs, and a lot of the physical jobs are being replaced by robots. Like, you don't really see a lot of men in office jobs unless they like went to school for those office jobs. But like with the, I guess with the exception of construction and oil rigs and all that other stuff, which is mostly dominated by male. But like I say, a lot of the office jobs, yeah, those are dominated by women. So in that, I could see like a lot of those women taking those jobs over.
But
But I
women
don't.
are dominating the construction market. They're slowly expanding and growing, and way more women are working in construction fields, plumbing, owning plumbing companies and construction companies, and as general GCs, project managers on jobs. Um, they're the help foremen on most a lot of companies. Like women are slowly taking over even like these manual labor jobs, and that's what I'm saying. A lot of the guys who like we're in this era now where, no offense to social media and everything else, but it's like people are seeing, okay, I can just put my baby mama on child support and live a good life. I don't have to work. There's a lot of women that are accepting men that are just basic bums. And since so many people have opened the doors to these basic bums, it's like these guys are slowly starting to dwindle out. And eventually, when enough of them, well, half of them are becoming transgenders now. So I guess they're falling into the woman category. So they're still, it's like the numbers is shifting on our side, but it ain't 100% all women. So I don't know.
Again, like I said, I have to look. I'll probably have to look up the information on that because like because that's interesting to know. But yeah. Yeah. Uh, yeah. Any last words before we have to get on to the next topic?
To share on out.
Okay. All right. Let's switch it up. We're gonna be talking about our favorite Sleepy Joe president, Joe Biden, and
Oh God.
so I'm going to play a game called Racist or Not because this has to involve one Joe Biden and the other LL Cool J,
Oh shit.
and I want the panel to decide if this is racist or not.
And two of the great artists of our time representing the groundbreaking legacy of hip hop in America, LLJ Cool J. By the way, that man's got biceps bigger than my thighs. I think he's spent.
Freudian slip.
MC Light, both of you, thank you. Because they both have the light off on the mic, you know you're all here to listen to the new edition. Mike Bibbins, 40 years producing music that lifts our soul.
Yo, I
I
swear. There are people like
I
I
don't
was
gotta
like
say.
I remember in 2020, you know, I will see my timeline and I'll see people sharing this on, like they're happy, right? I never respond. I'm not like them. I don't respond. I'm like, that's your opinion. That's fine. All right, you voted for me. Happy, good. No, I'm not them. I'll start attacking them. I'm like, all right. So, but I fast forward to like not just now, but not too long ago, and like silence, son. Silence, because we know. This was anyone. Like, come on. Like, I don't like bringing this guy up, but yo, if it was the Orange Man, you know they would have jumped on it, right? You know, right? So we have to speculate, right? It's only or joke about it, be like, oh come on, it's us like us on YouTube and stuff, but the mainstream, yo, you think they're gonna? Unless it's the opposing side, they ain't saying shit, yo. And I'm like, come on, don't play. Don't play. We know his history. Don't play. You know what he did. Not only did he say, but yeah, there's so much wrong with him. Nobody's saying shit. Like somebody brought it. Like people miss the Bush era of making jokes. Not even Bush. Even Clinton after the whole Lewinsky thing. Like people miss that. We miss that shit. I definitely miss that. Because I remember, like, when those things will happen, then once over, I'm like, it feels like off limits unless it's like Key and Peele level where you're making fun of them, but at the same time you're propping them up. If it's that level of comedy, it's alright. When it stopped, when I saw it, I'm like, come on, yo, this thing we could, yo, right? So so when this shit happens and there's silence, yo, I'm like, yo, first of all, he's senile as fuck. He said his name wrong, okay? Then he had a Freudian slip by saying, boy, because we know about him and the KKK leader being his mentor and shit. So that we know where that came from because he tried to correct it in the end. Then he said, man, because he thought about it. He remembered, oh shit, I forgot where I am. Because I saw a black person, I just thought, boy, oh fuck. Man, it's so great, you know? So, oh man. And he's just not, why does he, yo, this is like, yo, you gotta laugh at that because this is insane. Imagine, if Bush did something like this. Like, if he's fumbling and things. Because remember, he fumbled before, and we were dying laughing. The world was. He got a shoe thrown at him. It was funny. Son, I don't care what president, that shit's funny. This shit comes out about Barry the other day, son. Nobody's talking. I'm like, yo, comedians, where the fuck are you? I don't want it to just be right ring Stephen. Nah, man, I want all of you just like back with Bush. Everyone, no matter what side was joking, I want this. Where are y'all, yo? Because this is gold. Come on, you cannot have a scandal like this and be quiet, okay? And now with this guy, he's feeding y'all, yo. He is like, here you go. Laugh at me, please. Nobody's budging. I'm like, yo, okay. So that's what oh God, what's happening? I'm
Honestly
done. I'm
speaking,
muted myself.
honestly speaking, I don't think he was intentionally being racist. You gotta remember, President Biden is 80 years old. LL Cool J is only what, 50 or 55 years old. To him, that's like that boy. But it's like, and I know either the person on the radio like was like, you can't say that, or like whatever it was he called something. He was like that man. But it's probably just you got to remember this man was around the era when white people was a boy or like so some things he's it's still ingrained in him. But at the end of the day, regardless of however the situation is, um, it was said, but I don't think he intentionally was being racist. And at one point in time, um, regardless of what niggas, I mean, the president, he was he was VP to a black man, and now he has a black woman as his VP. So regardless of what, racist or not, the man is stuck around black people at all points. Like you had a black, you had to answer to a black president. Now you have a black
Oh,
female vice president. So
that now
you kind of stuck.
hold
Like,
on. No, it's about perspective here because now they work. They're his
what
little puppets. They're to play with. That's the perspective.
well,
Because
because
from then to
he
this,
was informed that
and he's seen
he would
now
not, Biden would not have been elected if he didn't have a black VP.
exactly. That's the
which
point.
he was already informed. We all know, and
That's a win-win for
um,
him.
well, it was also a
See, that way
win-win
I
for
get
the
to
black
use
We
them to
ain't
at
win.
the
That's all
seen
I'm
black
much of
VP.
her lately, have we?
Hmm.
I get to I get to use them to
Say it again.
win. So
I was saying we ain't seen much of Kamala, have we?
Shit. We ain't seen much of
yo, you
Biden when he was
borders
VP
supposed to be
either.
the borders are. What happened?
So if Biden got elected and we ain't seen none of him when he was VP at this point, I see more of Michelle Obama as first lady when Obama was in office
Well, that's because he's in
versus
Ukraine and
Biden.
China. That's why. That's why you see him.
So, and Biden as president, we still don't see much of him unless it's like clickbait. What laws have he vetoed? What laws have he really passed other than the stuff that the Senate? He has not brought anything into play off his own free will. And his VP does absolutely nothing. But,
I don't
well,
even know
he
what Mike
did do the
Pence was.
50-year hip hop celebration at her front doorstep. So I guess she, and she wears fresh kicks, I guess. So, but at this point in time, we come to the understanding that this whole season of this election we could have thrown in the trash. So,
Well, it sounds like what they
but
did.
we don't even need to worry about Kamala because she's doing exactly what she's supposed to do. There, till this very day, there has not been one VP that has done something that I've been like, wow. Because I've
Yo,
been a lot
I'm like,
that I say, wow, this
you
VP.
forget about him. You forget about him because I'm like, I forgot like
And the
what
only
what
right
was
reason
Mike
why
Pence
people
doing?
knew Pence
Like I don't know.
existed, the only reason why people even knew Pence's existence is because, um, let's be honest.
Mike, stay off the fence, Pence.
Hmm.
No, no, I'm not saying like when he was in office with Jesus, I can't even think about his name. With
Okay.
Lord, I'm going to blank. It's because the guy never he
Donald
did
Trump.
not stop. Yeah, when he was in office with Trump, it's because Trump made sure Pence worked at all points in turn. Like he had Pence going everywhere. All these other VPs have just been sitting around waiting for the president to what they've been waiting for them for so they can take the honorable spot. I'm not going to say anything because I don't need to be anybody tracking spot.
Uh, so
I mean,
before anybody, I just want to say this. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt that he is 80 years old, even though he has said much more racist stuff that I've heard. It's just this, like when I've heard this story, I've read it first, and then I said I need to hear him say it, and then when I heard him say it, like I. It didn't come off as racist, but it's coming off as damn you old as hell. Because why the hell is Joe Biden talking about LL Cool J and MC?
it came off as senile dementia and set in the old ways. Yo, it was a Freudian slip. That's what that
Yeah,
was. He said, "Boy,"
and
because he thought he was still back in them days.
and
We all know he's catering to black people. Let's be honest. The only reason why they even honoring him, and she just did the 50-year thing, and she had LL at her house performing. So he's trying to collect more black votes because black people is over and done
but
And he's got to
and
push hard on that because of the crime bill that he drafted. So he's got to go
yeah,
even harder with that. But funny enough, he still hasn't done anything for us. Just
I I,
shows
I
that he could own us in the White House and hires too. And he made sure that majority are LGBT. That's the other funny part. Like none of them, like almost none of them are straight, especially the black ones. So I'm like, yo, he's playing. He is playing, yo. I'm like, I can never give this
yeah.
guy no benefit of the doubt, no age, nothing. Nah, because even if it's age, that's who he is. It's who he is. He could be out of his mind, not of sorts, up to like but at the same time, that's what okay. But if we were to bring back his whereabouts, would that change who? No. So what are we doing here? Nah, man, nah. We're not doing this because he's like straight up, man. He's not some just random racist guy out of nowhere. He just happened to be. No, he has and it's funny. He has a family history of owning slaves. I keep saying that. And Kamala Harris. That's the funny part about this.
Oh yeah.
And then she's the only straight one. That's funny. The one that all had owned slaves in their family, she don't happen to be the only straight one he fucking hired. Get the fuck out of here, yo! This guy, nah, this is all just pure evil. That's what this is. And they're using our people. Nah, man, that's what this is. There is no I'm telling. There's no benefit of doubt for me or any of these motherfuckers up there. Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I understand there are like definitely other evidence that can prove the race, like Joe Biden being a racist, him actually saying the N word at one of his speeches, and the crime bill that he fucking put through. I said this one, like I could see my own grandparents fucking up rappers' names like LL Cool J. Like I'm like hell, like even me in my ripe old age at 35, I done fucked up rappers' names. It's like I remember the first time I heard Waka Flocka Flame. It was just like you expect some old 80-year-old white man know who Waka Flocka Flame. You're like, what the hell
I
is
do
that?
that with everyone's names today.
I just want to give Joe. Now, I just honestly, I want to give Joe Biden a bunch of rappers' names. I want to see how many that he is going to pronounce right. And the sad part is looking at that, he was looking at like 2, 3 different things. Like, did I get it right? Did I say his name right? It's like LJ Cool J, or it's just like the boy thing.
It was embarrassing. Just put it like that.
Yeah, him saying boy, I don't think that, and I'm jumping out on a limb here, and I'm not defending him, but I'm jumping out on a limb here. That wasn't a racist boy. That was more as like, damn, that boy got some muscles on him. I don't look at that particularly as something racist, but because I know a lot of older people, they say boy a lot, even if it's they racist or not, especially inside. Now you can tell when someone says the word boy, they meant that in a racist term. I've heard that in the South. Like, but this one I don't like. It's more that I'm giving him senile more than racism. But if you like want to, put him out as someone that is racist, you have a bunch of other abundance of evidence that could do that. So this one, I'm not gonna throw that on there. So that's my thoughts.
Okay, so my thoughts on politics is I couldn't give two fucks. He's old, end of story.
85 years old. Okay. Oh man. Any last words before we get into our final topic?
Hey, that was fast.
Mama said knock you out. Oh.
I swear it seemed like you had a whole essay of topics, and I don't know how we.
Oh Lord. Okay, and on to our last topic, which I done find interesting. And it involves Kerry Washington and Kirk Franklin. Unfortunately, um both of both of these individuals done found out that their biological parents are not who they really are. Well, at least for Kerry Washington, the lie for like 41 years about a real dad, and when it comes to Kirk Franklin, the mother lied for like 53 years about Kirk Franklin's real dad. So, and this is not the first time I've seen this. I've done seen this many times with people like where the kids want to know who their real father is, and the seems like the mother is always either hiding it or just won't tell the kids who they are, who their real father is. And I come to the panel like, why do you normally see that happen?
Damn, I missed the last part. I'm so sorry.
I basically basically, I said like I've been seeing this a lot lately, especially on TikTok, where people done found out that their actual father is not their real father, and they were trying to get to their mom for answers, but the mom doesn't tell them who their real father is. So,
Um,
so I come to, like I said, I come to the panel. Why is it that like even when the mothers are confronted that you know that that's not their real father, they're not telling them?
That could be for a lot of different
I,
reasons.
wait, what age are we talking here?
Well, for Kirk Franklin, he found out 53 years later, and Kerry Washington, she found out 41 years.
Okay,
She's
but
only
outside of
41.
that,
Oh,
so
shit.
you're saying there's a trend on TikTok where that's happening, where people are telling these stories, or it's just
Well,
happened, it's like coming out
yeah,
that
but
like
basically, because this isn't the first time I heard about this. There's other stories of people who's just like they realized
We
that about like this
we
person's.
recently talked about the same shit happening to Tupac.
Yeah, it happened to Tupac, where it's like this person was supposed to be your biological father, and then come to find out that's not your real dad. And then like some of these people, they're trying to find who their real father is because they just want to know, and the mother just never really reveals who there is. So
yeah, I think it's huh, I think it's the okay. There's probably like yo, I'm not. You got you. There are two women here, yo. I don't. Y'all could put me on place if you have to. All right. Okay. Because it's just an opinion. I think probably there's a bit of shame and because they love the child, they probably there's probably situations where you know they're with one person and something happened, maybe they fought, did that little break thing, then went with someone else, came back, but and just didn't have the heart to say anything. They're locked in. You can't do that because as guys, even for the smallest things, we get that way. We can't tell a woman shit, even if it's smaller than that. So I feel like that's what it is, and that as time goes on, you're like, oh, it's gotta be right because you're starting to see a bond between the father and the son. This and the other now. And you see that go, and you're like, oh, I can't. How can I? Oh no. And then when they ask, you're like, shit. Now I have to like straight up lie because I just wasn't saying anything. Now I have to straight up lie. And this is my child. He needs to know. He deserves to know. But I feel, I feel like, and women are emotional, so I feel like that kind of it's hard. You know, I feel like that's what it is, and I feel like that. And the reason why I was asking you the age, because I'm like, if it was like this generation or the last, I'm like, oh yeah, it's because a lot of that was going on like wild parties and shit like that. Yo, you don't know, and now this is a time where, people are actually looking into these things, like they come across and like, wait, I'm not, you know, and you find out like, well, that was a lifestyle. Probably sometimes the parent didn't even know, or they knew, but hopes to God that, oh my God, this is really your child and shit like, you know, that's my opinion. There were two women here. Y'all could just okay, just long.
I would like to know why you keep pulling me into stuff.
Cause yo, I could be speaking out of my ass because I'm speaking. I don't know. Like,
How do you even know I'm a woman?
okay,
I could be a man for all you know. Let's not do
okay.
this. Just saying.
All right, now I'm gonna go ahead, lady.
All right, I guess I'll talk. So at the end of the day, I just feel like the women who have the sons and the daughters do not want to admit that they was a 3 or 4 at one fucking time, don't know who the baby daddy is, or they don't want to co-parent because they're little girls. End of story. So now we have what DNA 1, 2, 3 or whatever the fuck that is. That's what the children need to do when they get old enough to pay for their own DNA test and do their own research.
Mm. I think Kerry Washington or whatever it is,
Why the hell does this thing keep
she
kicking me out?
she only found out that her biological father wasn't her biological father was when she was getting ready to do her little DNA ancestry thing. And her dad, they ended up having to be honest and let her know that she was conceived through a sperm donor, which is that's like wow. And then Kurt Franklin, I think his little biography about understanding Kurt Franklin or whatever is it reveals a lot where people like starting to understand him or whatever. But I don't know. I really don't know exactly the reason why a lot of these parents, a lot of these, let's say older parents, like which is our great grandmothers and grandmothers, were doing the stuff that they were doing. Because to be honest, it really just doesn't make sense. But we can't just judge them or justify their reasons because we don't know what they was going through. Some of them probably you got to remember some of them they couldn't survive without their husbands. A lot of our grandparents and great grandparents, their husbands were the breadwinners. And so they probably made mistakes and stuff. And it was just easier to, raise the child as your own. Even if you met the woman and she had already had a child that was one or two, it was easier to raise the child as your own and like pretend like, you're the parent. And then now these childs are so curious where these kids are like, you know, they looking for answers. And now they don't found out a secret that you've been holding because what was it? That Medea movie where the son
Medea's family
was,
reunion.
yeah, where I think it was one of the sons was
Yeah,
like he for the longest he thought the aunt was like his sister to find out that that was really his mother and the because she had a kid when she was young and she wasn't prepared to do it so she gave her mom the kid and so the mom raised the kid like it was her own kid to be honest when it was really her daughter's kid so that was the norm for a lot of the parents back in the days because it was like well the thing is most of the women yeah women just started working and yeah we evolved very fast but you got to still remember in the 60s, 50s, 40s, there wasn't too many women working compared to like now, where a lot of these women now are leaving their men that's been cheating on them for decades because now they can carry their own, they have their own source of income, so they don't have to be stuck with a guy who don't love them or half of a man. Because back in the days, it was better to have half a man and be miserable, but you could at least, you know, you could at least feed yourself than to have um to be sitting in the side of the street or living with your parents because a lot of these parents was not allowing these kids to live with them for over 18 years, especially island parents. You won't be living in that house until you go old and decrepit. Hispanic or Islander parents, they'll have, but a lot of the black parents, it was like you turn 18, you gotta go. I can't afford to have another adult sitting in my house at 18 years old. So there's a lot of factors that we may not understand why a lot of these older parents have to lie. These new parents now, they don't care. They'll let the kids know. I don't know who your daddy is. These new parents, they thought in about kids. I mean, guys coming in and out of these parents' houses. They mama, they know they ain't got no daddy. They mama been told them you ain't got no daddy. Your daddy don't want you. Hurting these kids' souls. So I don't know. There's, there's, it was a different time. You didn't want to hurt the kids back in the days. Now these parents don't give a damn about hurting them kids. They break them kids. You never rebuild them and let them grow up to be great little boys. That's my thought process.
I don't know. Well, I think what you said is valid. Let me just start by saying there, but I always like you see these stories and it's sad because it's just like for at least some of these people, because I know a lot of people it differs with different people, so I'm not going to put them all in one umbrella. But majority of these people, it's a real sad story, and then it seems like everything they thought was a lie. Even if the father, or the biological, or the father that was in his life, he may not be his real father. He's been good to him, but I feel like once you figure that out, you're just going to put yourself on the journey. Like, well, if he's not my father, who is? And then it's just like the only person that would know is your mom, and you would think, okay, since the cat's out of the bag, I might as well tell him. But this was one example. It was just that she didn't want to tell her son that because she was just like, "What's the point? I'm the one that raised you. That nigga didn't do shit, and all that other stuff." He's just, but in his mind, it's just because I want to know. I said, "It's like I want to know if he's alive or not, or is he kicking or not." And blah blah blah. But she wouldn't tell him that. She just withhold the whole information, and it just made him angrier and angrier to the. But I know that some people, even without their mother's help, they'll end up finding who the person is, and then like try to establish a relationship, or you know, like I said, it differs from other people. But every time I hear stories like this, it's just like, oh man, that's sad. And you withheld that whole information. It's like, why wouldn't you want to tell the kid? It's like, do you feel like? And then this is just me thinking. It's just, do you feel like that kid is not going to love you the same or something like that? When you figure out they're not your real father, even if, because I feel like even if you've been in their whole life, they're gonna at least have some type of love for you because they could have been uh either not loved, or depending on what type of parent it is, like person is. It's just like I feel like every kid should know who their parents is if they have the information there. Like you shouldn't be withholding those information because I feel like it's going to backfire on you anyway. But that's just me. Anybody else have something to say on this topic? Any last words before we get into our final thoughts?
I'm gonna say
Was that no
you're right
final thought?
about it because when a child finds out at whatever age it is, it feels like a sense of abandonment happens to them because it was like, did this person like if you find out that your dad that raised you for 30 plus or 40 or 50 or 60, 70, 80 years, he raised you whatever because you had the sense that he was father, that he was your dad. So he was the one that guided you, that you were part of him. Half his DNA is half of you. So, but then to find out later on that there was another man that was, that's your true father, it was like, well, did he not want me? You start to question a lot of things, like, is this path the path that I should have been taking for real, or is like, who am I? Like, you start to question a lot of things about yourself. And some people, they can maneuver through it and they can get past it and they can figure out, okay, well, regardless of what, the guy who raised me is still my father. Like, I still feel like he's my. But some people, they need that sense of understanding who they are, who they were supposed to be, understanding who their family, like, their family tree, like if there's defects in them, somewhere along the line, things that they might not know, like their family background, like medical history, that this other half, the person who raised you will never have. Because there's probably things, defects in like your father's side of the family that you're unaware of. like certain times, like these certain like lineages tend to die off early, or there's a possibility you'll tend to be easily manipulated to get like certain disease or like blood pressure problems or stuff like that. So it's like you, especially for a person as you get older and you start to learn new information, it takes you a little bit longer to process versus being young and having the time to process it. So I do agree. Like I feel like for people to find out stuff so late, it's like it feels like they've been fraudulently like lied to. What's the word? Because now you're forced to have to learn or meet somebody new at 40 years old, and especially if you established now it's like you're questioning if this is a genuine establishment or is this person out to like steal from you or financially take from you or whatever, whatever.
But isn't it like a relationship when women go from men to men? Meeting
Mm.
someone new every 5 minutes? I mean, it's crazy, but you're doing the same thing that you would do in a relationship. So what they need to do is understand, hey, my mom was a, 3 or 4, or she just doesn't know who the fucking daddy is. And get therapy and move the fuck on. We can't keep this as a crutch. I understand that, the trauma behind it, but goddamn, move on.
But the problem isn't that their mom was a 3 or 4. The problem is they was never informed that this guy was not their father. So the person who raised them, who taught them everything, that they came to understand this person was their dad. That's what they've been told their whole life. And then all of a sudden, society, like either a DNA test or like not a DNA test because there was never a DNA test, but it was like those new things at the Ancestry.com or
23andMe.
um, 23andMe thing that people been doing now informed them that this is not true. Like this person don't even has nothing to do with you.
Mm-hmm.
And so now at 40 years old, they're finding out their whole life was a goddamn lie. It's not that their parents, or their parents was a hoe. Their probably parents been a hoe, but it's not about that. It's the thing is, we've been living. Everyone's been living in this lie, and I was the only one unaware of it. Like for um, what's her name? The girl from Scandal. The only reason why
Kerry Washington.
her mom, Kerry Washington, only reason why her mom and dad even informed her is because she was doing the 23andMe ancestry thing. And then they had to let her know the truth. And she is 40 years old. So everyone was aware. It was like I was a I was an orphan in your household this whole time, and y'all never told me I was an orphan.
So what is she doing about it?
She's she's trying to figure out, who's her, because it was through a sperm donor. So it wasn't like her mom was sleeping around. Her mom went to a clinic and picked up a sperm somewhere. Like um Phaedra told Phaedra told Kenya, your child will have that your mom one day just woke up and went to some sperm donor because
Mm-hmm.
they needed $5. Like so it's like, wow, really? Like what was wrong with dad that he couldn't, give you a kid
Them
or you
soldiers
couldn't
wasn't
wait to
marching.
have a kid? Hmm. And
I'm
then for Kirk
sorry.
Franklin,
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
It was like his mom just blatantly like lied and didn't want to tell him, or like she was just evil. Like she started resenting and started acting an evil because as he got bigger, it was just like at this point, she was like, I don't want to share the money with any other guy,
Mm.
like because he was in there. So why would I tell him who the father is or who the dad is or whatever? So it was just like it's like when you do malicious intent, thinking you're doing good, but regardless, it's the same when you've been with a guy for 20 plus years and then he cheat on you. it still hurts.
I guess this topic is a hot topic because a lot of people that I'm close with goes through this. They don't find out about their dad until later or their mother, but it's mostly dads. And
Hmm.
they use that as a fucking crutch. Like, okay, it's happened. Get a month, 6 months. I understand people take time to get over shit, but it's kind of like when he wasn't there, you was doing what the fuck you need to do. Now that you have to meet this new person and anything that they do to hurt you, it's making you not want to go to work or be depressed and all of this shit. Just, I get
But,
it. I get
but
change
I think you
happens,
think
but at the same
you're
time, it's
thinking it.
like, it's
I
just
think you're
annoying.
thinking it different. These people, the thing is, you're thinking like they never had a dad in their life,
No,
and all
not
of a
really, but
sudden their dad came into their life. These people had fathers in their life, but they
hmm
found out later that these fathers was not their real fathers. It's not like you spent your whole life with a single parent, and then one day some guy comes up to you and says, "Oh, I'm your father." No, these people spent their whole life with fathers in their household
right.
that raised them.
Yeah.
And then when they went to go do a test, they found out that this father that's been raising them, that their mom told them, or their dad, or they've been to find out that nah, it's a lie.
hmm
Like, who is this random stranger? Like this person been watching me every day. Who was you? Like, when did you come in? Like, y'all all knew y'all was lying.
Hmm.
It's one thing when you know you don't have a dad, but the other to believe that's your dad, to find out this could have been a pedophile just hanging around. Because he done took me showers. I don't even know him.
So do these people like just, well, you wouldn't know. It's different scenarios, but it's kind of
Mm.
like after they find that out, they're still in their mom's face, smiling in her face and being like everything's okay. They're still in their
Uh-uh.
now stepdad face,
Uh,
just being okay with it,
I,
right?
No.
I, hold on.
No.
I could give an example. Recently, I was watching a episode of the Adam Carolla show, and his guest was his co-host of a show they used to do on Spike TV called To Catch a Contractor, where they're like bust a whole bunch of
Yeah,
people who
I thought
try
you
to
was gonna say
scheme
something
people. And
else.
yeah, I messed up. But
Yeah.
because it was a play on that. So, this when he was a guest, he was talking about his story about that, how he didn't know he was adopted. He didn't know until he got older, and mom, his adopted mom explained, y- well, we adopted you, not our real son, and they were lovely to him. It's not even say it was abusive or anything. It's like the same thing. You were raised and you're thinking, these are my parents, I'm part, but then you find that out. It does crush you because he said, yeah, it destroyed me. And then he was like, oh, well, maybe I should look for my real mom. But his adoptive mom was trying to tell him, no, don't do that because she, she might not want to deal with that. It might be a bad experience. We gave you love, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, you know what? Yeah, all right. But then fast forward to when he meets his wife is like, oh, no, we're finding out. No, what? No, it doesn't matter. You will heal from it. Whatever it is, at least you get your closure. But now we'll do it. So that's what kicked him in the butt to do it. So he finally found his real mom. She explained the situation as to why the whole thing happened. I forgot exactly what it was. Oh yeah, it was a simple thing from back in those days. It was like, you're young, you're too young, you slipped up, and there's no way I can do this. No. So her option was, I'm gonna have to give this up for adoption. I can't do this. And she didn't even want to at first either. When the wife made him try, when the wife found him, she did not want to talk to him at first, and the wife had to actually talk to her on his own and give little this and like kind of weave into, slip stories about him and how to make her more interested, and then she did it. And now everybody gets he found new family members, this and that, and now they, you know. I was just giving another example of how
That
that could go and
example,
how they could
I
heal.
get you're trying to give an example, but that example just sounds like he just is trying to find love from a woman that gave him up a long time ago. Like, it's a waste of time, in my opinion. I don't mean to sound like an asshole, but
Oh,
just
my?
focus on who
Wait, my
loves
example?
you and move the fuck
Yes.
on. The fuck?
No, I said he didn't want to.
He didn't want to? So what was
He
the
did
point of
not
him
want. No,
doing
his
the
mother told
search?
him. No. Once he found out, once his adoptive mother confessed everything, and he found out, he was like, "Well, I guess I should find my mom then." And the mom was like, "Don't do that." So he was like, "All right, you know what? Yeah, all right, it's fine."
So
He did not
let me
bother. It was his wife. His
let me
wife is the one
summarize
who went
it.
through all that.
Okay, so first he said, "Let me find the mom that
Yeah,
gave me up." No?
yeah, because when
Then
you
he
find something
said,
out, you think the
"No,
next
let me
step
not
is
talk to her
hold on.
after doing that." It
No,
just
hold
sounds
on.
like, what the fuck? Why
No,
go through
because
all that?
what do you no when you find something else like when you find something like that out, what's normally the next step? So that's what he's saying. He's like, well, I guess I have to find my mom then. That's the way he put it because that's usually the next step. Like this is something I have to do now because I just found out that the one that raised me is not real. So this is the next step. That's what I'm saying. Now I want to. It's like okay, this is well now I have to. This is the
Honestly,
Right.
next.
It
That's
people
just
what it
are,
is.
sounds like
So it
adults
was the
wasting
wife
their
that did it
time.
anyway.
That's all.
Because after the
and
wife
the
found
wife is
out
the
about it,
problem
she's
because
no. But
the
at the
wife
same
should have
time, nothing. At the same time,
no,
I understand. But at least it came
but
out,
his
the
mom
right
still
way.
didn't want to see him. Like his
Huh?
biological
Yeah,
mom
that's
still
yeah.
didn't want
But
to see
she
him.
ended up
So
regretting
his
not wanting
wife,
to.
she went first of all, she gave him up for a reason. It's not those are not the same thing. She gave him up for a reason. And so she didn't want to see him, but I guess the wife let her know that oh he's a YouTuber, this and that, or he makes this money, he makes this and that. So all of a sudden the mom is oh okay I'll see him. That's even worse. He got the worst end of the stick. These people, this is not the same thing. This lady gave up her kid.
I didn't say it was the
These
same
like
thing. I
Kirk
said there are
Franklin,
scenarios that are like that, and I was saying that I
yeah,
was just
but
giving
it's
the
not even
story
the
like
same scenario. Kirk Franklin and what's her name? They was never informed that their dad was not their true dad. It wasn't like somebody gave them up. It
I
was
understand
just
that.
their mom never like their parents never told them. Their parents
Yo,
stuck
I
to
don't
the
know
story that
why
they were
my
there.
example somehow
But
translate that. I didn't get that. I totally understand everything.
yeah, but this
I get
guy
it.
is an orphan and somebody adopted this orphan and then led him to
My
believe that, this was his family for the longest. And then his
no,
wife,
my
after he
point in all
informed
this, yeah,
his wife went behind his back and went and found his mom, who still
okay.
didn't want to talk to
Now
him.
took it to
So
another
that's
level.
like it's
Okay,
a
my
double
point in
slap.
all this was hold on because really this is unnecessary. Like for real, I did not mean to take it to this level. All I'm saying is like there are scenarios where things like that, not the exact scenario, the end point where it could end properly, where there can be closure, where you can find out why this happened. Why didn't you tell me? Oh, it's too late. Sometimes they're dead and you can't even tell me. I got to find out why. It doesn't always have to end badly. And if those people who are in this situation need to hear that. That was my point. I understand what you're saying, but it's not all the time. But sometimes there's light at the end of that tunnel. You should at least try to go for it. Because that's the point of like what we talk about in this podcast a lot is mental health, And I was just showing that there is that possibility. That's all it was. I understand where you're going, what you're saying. And what they're dealing with. Like I completely understand and agree on that point. I was just saying that's all I was doing. I wasn't trying to upend what you're saying or anything like. I was like, nah, I get it. I'll just throw my 2 cents. That's it.
I still think the wife is the problem. Like she done hit the boy with a double slap. The
Ooh,
wife gave him up, and then the mom said, "I don't want to talk to him."
I'd say that if it ended badly, then I'd say that.
ooh,
But the way I
That's
could,
a
cause
double
all right,
slap.
fellas, hold on. Let me ask you guys here: if that was the case and it ended up well, how much more would you love your fucking wife? Like I'm like I would I like I'm like I don't think I want to do that. And she did it and it fucking worked. She was right. and now I got a bigger family, and everybody loves each other. And blah, blah, blah. Like after that, you understand. But if it's bad, like then you'd be like, holy shit, this bitch was a problem. I said no, bitch, come on. But because it worked out right, as men, we're like, yo, you just became
It
a
would have
queen
been
just
understandable
now.
if, the adoption was like somebody kidnapped him and blase blase, so she never gave him up. The lady said, "No, I
Yo,
don't want to talk to him." I wouldn't even told my husband I even did
she
attempted
explained
that.
why. She
I would have
explained
kept
why.
that shit silent.
She explained why. Eventually, she found out. She explained why. She actually explained it to the wife first, because she's the one that made the call, because he did not want to. And when he tried, he was like, "Nah, I can't do it." Then she did it, and she found out the reason why. I forgot the exact reason why, like the words she used, but it was because she was too young and she didn't want to feel. I forgot what she was explaining, but I was like, all right, fine. But then,
Yeah, goddamn.
she did what she did, and it worked out. That's what I'm saying is like from a man's perspective, especially if it works out, you're not looking at her as a problem anymore. You're like, oh
Okay.
shit, you gotta fuck up doing this for me to be like, don't do nothing. If I say no, fucking
That's the
say no.
difference between
You
women
know?
and men. I'm telling you, there's a massive difference between a woman and I understand. I would have been done. Like you ain't got to tell me twice. I would never even have looked for her because if you gave me up, you didn't care for me.
Okay, so material, thank you for putting up with my bullshit, trying to explain. I'm just vengeful as fuck. Let a woman give me up as a baby. I really don't want to talk to her. In fact, I'll invite her over and you might see me on the fucking news because what the fuck? Don't do it. Don't do it to yourself.
Girl, I'm
And
'T
100% right
Wolf,
there with
thanks
you.
for trying.
that's
No,
our weekly Crystal Fine Crystal News.
Krista, I 100% agree with
Yo,
you. I am exactly the same way. Ain't no looking for you, all. Girl,
Mm-mm.
bye.
y'all don't have to agree, but all I gotta say is women, right,
And
fellas?
then you got
Damn, y'all are
that.
dark. Oh
Then
my
you got
god,
that.
why would you go?
What?
Y'all went violent, and I'm like,
It's
yo,
not
can we have a
violence.
better like? And
No,
it's
that's
funny, I'm a guy, and
realistic.
I'm like happy for the fairy
Okay,
tale ending, but
so
y'all
how
are
would
like,
you like
yo,
it?
this bitch gave me up. Nah, fuck all that. Yo,
No,
I
you know
because you
what?
want
Let's
to come
see.
when
Dog.
I'm getting
I'm like,
money.
son,
Nah,
I'm just. I'm like,
fuck.
can we
You want to
no,
Exactly,
come
you
and
don't want
Crystal.
the
meet
you don't want the
grandkids. No,
fairy tale
bitch.
ending for your man. That's all right.
Me grandkids, girl, that's
Like,
that's a damn lie. Bitch, you gonna have to see them on a picture strip. That's the only place you gonna ever meet them.
yo,
Y'all men be delusional about y'all moms and the ones who abandon y'all. That's the problem.
not me.
but it works.
Shit.
I just gave a success. I just gave a real scenario. It's still delusional. Like it doesn't exist. Like it's delusional if that's all they think and that's all they believe going in. Yeah, hell yeah, makes zero sense.
I see
But
why
if it's a
Crystal said
possibility and it works
they need
out,
to grow
good
up
for
and get
you.
the hell over it.
Yo,
Nah, I'm speaking from experience, like true experience. That's why this topic's so touchy. It's like, nah, son, you ain't coming back.
Exactly. If you abandon me, child, abandon me for life. Cut my strings.
so wait,
I don't
so
care.
wait,
The
wait.
next
Are you at least?
lifespan,
Would you at least
don't even
say it
bring me
depends
back
on the
into that
situation?
household.
So well, you guys will at least say it depends on the situation as to why.
No, it don't.
No.
No.
If you
Because bitch is gonna
abandon
come.
Oh,
me,
if
I
you
No,
were
don't
bitch
care
is
if I
gonna
have
come back
like
20
for
say
you
you're
life.
running
also.
from a certain like group or something and you needed to get them out of the way for a while to run and you couldn't find them back. So like I'm
That's
talking
on
about like
some
Shit,
crocodile
even
dandy shit.
crackheads.
no,
We in New
these things
York.
happen actually. No, I'm saying these things happen. So I'm saying would you at least be like, all right, for that?
Even
Because these things,
crackheads is
you could
raising up
say that.
kids.
You could say that it sounds far fetched, but these things actually do happen more than you think.
Backslide.
But I'm just saying, like, would you at least be like, okay,
Hit the
tell me
road.
who you are? You can tell. Would you
Exactly.
have like? I just want
Homeless
to know.
people got their kids with them in
See,
tents.
Y'all
Like
are
no,
yo,
that's
Let's come back
nothing.
no more.
y'all are
That's
giving these
What he
CTE.
manosphere.
say?
Yo, y'all are giving these manosphere dudes ammo with this shit. Come on,
see,
yo,
Wolf,
don't
I
do
know
that.
you're trying to find a soul in me trying to explain, oh, what about this scenario?
I
Listen to
feel
the
like they
words coming
exist.
out
I
my
know these evil
motherfucking mouth.
bitches exist, yo. I'll be the
Listen
first
to
to
the
fucking admit
words
that.
coming out my motherfucking
But
mouth. The only
damn.
reason a hoe's coming back around after her ass abandoned me is because she needs a fucking aid, a nurse aid, and I ain't fucking it. You get an old bitch,
Money.
die.
Period.
End of story. The fuck?
Or money. Yeah. That was actually, I don't know if you guys remember, like, wasn't that an episode of The Flash when it came to Wally versus Mom? Did y'all watch that on CW? No.
You're smart. I know what you're doing. Good try.
No, I'm just saying that actually happened. That's what I'm saying on The Flash. The mom came back, but she was a drug addict and all that stuff, and tried to come back, and they're like, no, I'm dead ass. I know.
Was the child
That's what I'm
kidnapped?
saying. They exist. That's what I'm saying. I'm not blind
No,
to
he
the other
wasn't
shit.
kidnapped.
I'm
The
just saying,
child was
like,
not
Yo,
kidnapped.
D-Wolf, you my
So
man's, but I think you need to quit while you ahead.
yo,
he was
Yo,
never
I think
ahead.
that's my
that's
problem,
what
yo. I don't quit.
that's
I
that,
don't quit.
that's why I'm telling you, yo.
That's why I'm like, oh my
You're
god,
only making
yo,
it. You're
yo,
digging that
wait.
grave deeper.
We, 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 we,
I see
See,
this.
this
I
is
see
why I
this.
we,
think
uh,
this is another reason why I think they were created, yo, because their evil would keep ours in check. God,
Oh, yeah, well, he'll have no fury like a woman scorned. So,
yo, because I'm like, we were doing some stupid shit, and God was like, yo, I gotta make somebody that they are forced to fucking love, but we'll keep them from doing because naturally, like if women weren't around, we'd be doing stupid shit. So
Yeah,
I'm
that's
like,
why I
this
tell
is
you,
I
why
do
sometimes you
stupid
because
gotta.
shit
they're doing
now.
some evil shit, and I'm like, yo, I know
I've
it
been
exists, but
with I've been with mine for a whole decade, and I do stupid shit all the time. The fuck,
do you do stupid shit
see,
for her, or do you do stupid shit because of her?
both.
both exactly, both,
I thought they was
both.
the same question. I was just like, wait, I'm so confused. What's the
Matter of
difference?
fact, the answer is yes. The answer is yes. I'll leave it at
Yeah,
that.
So, doing
even
shit for
better.
someone like him. Let's say he's beating someone's ass because someone disrespected. That's doing shit for her, or doing shit
Hmm.
because of her, or it's just like she get on his nerves and Dion just, and I'm giving an example, punches a drywall or something like that. That's what
I've done that.
you ain't had to admit that, Dion. I was just being.
I'm saying it happens.
Oh my God, Ray, I cannot deal with you tonight.
Any last words
The
before we
pause.
move on to our final
Who is the pause?
The way
Dion,
we
you not
all got
supposed.
silent.
Dion too honest for his own good. Dion for president.
It's
I
crazy
don't.
because we all got silent. And then Ray was like, but you're not supposed to admit it. We didn't know what to say. Like, how do we just go past it?
I'm not robbing.
When I find the fuck to give, y'all will be the first to know. But
This is why my list of robbing the banks with people is short.
oh, I
Well, I
can't.
know I'm not on that list.
I
So
know you not on that list. You're the first person not on that list.
I'm telling you, I know
Hey,
I'm not on
I'm a
that list.
horrible liar, but I'm great at keeping secrets. All right, so
Uh-uh. First of all, I know for a fact if somebody put me on a list of to rob a bank with them, they don't love me at all. They
You know,
truly
trust
don't
me,
respect me and
you are
want to see
not
me
on
in
that
now,
prison for the rest
now
of
I
my life
think
with
that
them.
depends on what they have you doing during the robbery. Personally, in case the cops bust in and start shooting, I'm bringing two people who I don't give a fuck about into the place with me, so I'm using their asses as shields.
That's exactly what I said. Y'all
What are
don't
you,
love me
a
at all.
Punisher?
If you put me on the
Now,
list with to
now,
rob a bank,
have
that
to
means
bring
you don't love me.
someone, if I absolutely have to bring someone who I care about to this scenario, you're my getaway driver. I just want you to stay your ass in the car.
That person's still going to prison for the rest of their life too.
But
So
Driving.
you can't
they're the
clearly
least
love
likely
them
to get hurt.
unless they Queen Latifah. They get shot the hell
You
up.
had to go there.
It's just damn Cleo. Rest in peace, Cleo. Anyway,
Oh
on
shit.
to our final thoughts, and we're gonna start with D Wolf.
Oh boy. Oh boy. I this is just a I was diving deep into the rabbit hole, and I found this one out, and I was like, okay, it makes sense. I don't know why. I think I kind of thought of it once, but I was like, there's no way. That's too fake. But anyway, so the confessional that we get out of the Catholic Church, right? That's existed since day one, and the reason it exists is because before when it was when it was Romans and shit, that was their way um, of getting secrets. So when you get your secrets from people, you could blackmail them, especially. But it wasn't really focused too much on the people on the lower level that were doing the confession. It was mainly for the higher ups because they're believing in, you know, they believe in God and all that stuff. Some of them anyway, and they need to, confess their sins because they're still scared. They might be evil, but they believe, so they're like, okay, if I do this, if I confess it, I get to try again. So, and they'll go in and they'll tell. So fast forward to today, what it is now is the CIA, but back then, yeah. So, for people who go to confession, think about that. And that's my final thought.
All right. I am going to think about that. I actually am going to, God, even though I'm not Catholic, but it's probably am going to think about it. On to
Majority
Dion.
of my family is, so.
Okay. On to Dion. It's on you.
I got nothing in that.
All right. Material life is on you.
Um, I don't really have anything about this. I don't even know. Did we talk about every topic? Did we talk about the Nicki Minaj, Kenneth Petty
I
getting
have not.
locked up?
I have not. That's the one. But I was going to say that as a final thought. But you can go ahead and talk about it if you want.
No, I don't want to talk about it because I got some gripes with you in regards to that thoughts of um thoughts you had in regards to Nicki Minaj and messing up her brand. So I'm just gonna mind my business.
Are you going to curse me out? Are you going to curse me out later?
Uh huh.
Yeah. All right.
I had watched that whole video and I was hot. I was like,
I'm with you, material. I'm with
It's funny because I sent that to some barbs, but I
that's
know
what
Mm.
I was like.
What was this
Okay.
video about?
uh,
it's
it's,
about
it's it's gonna be about my final. It's gonna be my final thoughts. But go ahead, Crystal. What was you gonna say? I didn't mean to cut you off.
damn. No, I didn't. It's final thoughts. I'm just butting everybody's stuff. But to
Nah,
be
I'm interested
honest, I'm just gonna talk a little bit about it, but it's not my final thought. Just
Mhm.
tiny bit. Just a little bit.
I mean,
Nikki
do we have to,
did
yo?
what the fuck she needed to do because people think that they got people all around the fucking world. Like, we don't either. That's all I'm fucking say.
Period.
Remember, she does things because they did it first and she's just retaliating.
Mhm.
But that's all I'm gonna fucking
And
say.
she
But
gotta
I'm my
remind them.
my real thought,
Like,
my real final thought is I've realized that I need more self-care regimens, and I'm definitely going to start this week just setting a time aside to take care of myself, like spa treatments, going out, even if it's the movie by myself and stuff like that, because yeah, self-love is important, but that's my final thought. Yeah.
girl, you know I love me. I love going to the movies, especially now that they sell alcohol at the movies.
I just don't
So,
like sitting next to people. That's all.
I
well,
love
half the
going to the
time the
movies by
movies are kind
myself.
of empty. It's very rare for a
Oh,
movie to be packed,
what
girl.
time you go though?
especially if you
It
wait
just depends.
a few weeks.
Cause I can go early or I can go late at night.
Mm,
I can't go when I say late at night. It's not no 11 o'clock. I'm gonna go to sleep, and
okay.
next thing I'm gonna be 5 times watching the movie. So it's probably like around 7, 8 is the latest I'll go to a movie. Because nowadays these movies be 2 hours long. and still be trash. So,
Yeah, that's true.
but then there's the concert, and then there's like, 'cause the thing is, well, you're not single. So the thing about it is, like, going with groups, especially if you're single,
Hmm.
going with a bunch of groups of people is just sometimes it's kind of intimidating to guys, but it's also kind of like stressful and annoying because, like, especially if
Hmm.
you got some friends that's like pure alcoholics, now you feel like you're on a babysitting trip. I'm like, oh,
Yeah, yeah, I've been there.
and then going to get your nails done, it just be you. You put your music on, and you mind your business, get your nails and stuff done, get your hair done. Like you just be feeling that peace when it's just you
Hmm. That is
versus
true.
like 20, like somebody else, and then they be want to have a full blown conversation. Like, girl, I'm trying to get this little seat like to break back my back, get all the knots out, while she
Hmm.
massage my legs, my little hands. I'm not trying to have a 20-minute conversation with you, and my
Right.
eyes
And
trying
then
to
you got to keep
close.
taking out your earpods and shit. Yeah, I've been
Yeah.
there.
So sometimes you just want that little, by yourself moment.
It
Like
makes the
it's
world
not
of a
all the time because I'm
difference.
not saying we depressed because we going outside
No.
by ourselves.
Mm-mm.
But it's like sometimes you just want those little moments where it's like you finding you out and going on dates with you. And so it's like, well, I could do it for myself. So anything extra that somebody else brings in the table is just
True.
extra. Like,
And
and
it's
I'm
not
not
like I've
afraid to
never.
be alone. I'm not like some people are so terrified to take themselves on a date, which blows my mind. Like I was talking to this girl, she's like, I came to this concert by myself, and I was like, girl, I go to concerts all the time by myself. What are you talking about?
She
Yeah.
Like
got
I don't,
anxiety?
girl, girl almost broke down. She was so
Yeah.
terrified, and
You
I was
know
just
what?
like,
What?
why?
Yeah, it happens. Material, I
And
used to
I'm
be like that in the beginning of my 20s. I hated going anywhere by myself. I felt like I was being attacked without being attacked. It's a weird ass feeling, but I got over it. And then I realized how much fun and peacefulness it is. I ain't got to be talking to someone on the phone every 5 minutes. I'm getting my nails done and
Hmm.
stuff like that. But I know she felt free, didn't she?
Oh, she loved it. Now she talking about she want to go everywhere. I'm like, oh, girl.
Get that GPS on, girl. Like,
I can't even lie because I travel a lot of times. Sometimes I really do be on some taking type lifestyle. So
oh my god.
I can't even,
Mm-mm.
I really be in danger. When I look back, I be like, gee, like, what is wrong with you? I be in like some foreign country and like, I just be in somebody random road, walking back home, like, girl,
Okay, that's adventurous though. But that is
yeah.
that you
You
do need
look
an
back
air
and you
tag.
like, this I I probably well back then I definitely needed an air tag and a GPS on because I actually I just prayed to God I made it back to my room safe.
Mm.
And then you always looking back because you done heard somebody a little motorcycle. You know you done seen too many movies. And I be clutching my little purses. But, but I don't know. I like going out with friends too. Don't get me wrong, but sometimes it's like sometimes going out with friends start to drain your energy, and it's like okay, bitch,
Because they're telling you
I'm gonna take you
all their
home.
problems sometimes. I had some friends I had to
Mhm.
let go because every time we out, we talking about your divorce or if you want to like I don't want to hear shit every 5 minutes. I'm getting my back massage. You looking at me talking about yeah he did this. Then let him the fuck go. Shit or
Mhm.
I don't know what to tell you. Sometimes it's just too much. Can we talk about
I'm
happy
that
stuff?
friend. If I tell you the truth the first time, you don't want to hear it. I'm never telling you the truth no more. At this point, I just support you wholeheartedly, girl. If he beating your ass Monday through Sunday, I
funny you
support
say
it
that. I'm sorry.
wholeheartedly. As long as you is happy getting your ass beat Monday through Sunday, because I done told you to
Good.
leave. You didn't want to leave, girl.
Hmm.
I support you. If you need me to take you to the hospital, if you need me to just sit there and just hear you cry, girl, I got you. Cry. Because I'm
Um,
not telling you a single damn thing no more because I done already wasted my energy giving you some honest truth that you didn't care to listen to. So at
Well,
this
the
point, I'm just a
Capricorn
listening
in
ear.
me, if they start crying, is just looking at them like tissue. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know.
I can't help you no more because at this point, and then I'm not gonna tell you I told you so. Even though my brain is telling me, girl, I told that whole that. Let him go. And I prepared you for this. But girl, I got you. If you go back to him, girl, I understand. He make you happy, girl. Go back. I I won't take these advices. If I don't give you the honest advice, because I'm not going back. I went back. That lifestyle is done. That going back lifestyle, I don't even know what it how it I don't even know it.
Mm-mm.
Like I give you good advice one solid time. If you don't sad story, and then you about to get this a new good advice.
Wow.
If you make it to the funeral, girl, I
You said funeral. I'm done.
I'll put the flowers on the casket top and be like, "Am I all black?"
No, I had a friend, and oh gosh, I keep sounding like an asshole, but it is what it is. I had a friend. She's like, "You'd even check on me at anything." I said, "Bitch, I got 4 kids and a husband. What happened? My husband died. No, they weren't married. My boyfriend died, and you'd even call to check on me." I'm like, "But you was complaining about dumping him the whole time. You kept complaining about him beating your ass. Like, you should be celebrating, no?" And then I heard
I
click.
mean, hold on. I mean, why should
And these
she
are
be
the people material
celebrating?
that want to go on spa treatments with me. The fuck?
I'm so, but how would she expect you to know her boyfriend died?
Because she's narcissistic and she thinks the world revolves around her. Like, I don't have a life. And this is why hanging out with myself, I need more self love and just taking care of my mental health. Because when you think you have like a sisterhood with some people and they're going through their shit and you don't want to hear their shit no more, you want to hear them elevating and, building themselves mentally,
Mm.
spiritually, emotionally. You don't hear that much. You just hear their problems. And then when motherfuckers die, they talking about, oh, I miss him. Bitch, get the fuck away from me. Like, you toxic. I'm sick of you and I'm not even your man. The fuck?
I don't even have that much
Damn.
friends, so I don't know. I only talk to 5 people on the phone, like legit, just 5 people,
That's pretty good.
and that's probably 5 times out of the year. I talk to Ray more than anybody else. This podcast at this point, I gotta start considering all y'all to be best friends because
Hmm.
I talk to y'all weekly, and that's the most. Like at this point, y'all are
She likes
family at
us.
this point.
She likes us.
Like Crystal, I know you know that. Like when you realize when you really look at your phone, you like you can't. I can't spend every day on the phone with people, but I spend at least one day out of the week with y'all.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that is. And we talk about some strong topics, and we can be honest. Well, I'm not as brutally honest as Crystal, but
Just put me out there, why don't you? Nah,
because
because
you
people
brutally
need to
honest.
hear sometimes the raw truth.
I'm like,
Like that
I'm like,
guy.
mm-mm.
He was like, think big, bitch. Think big. I'm just a female version of his ass.
Nah, you deadly. You
Got
that
it.
sit in the like after somebody gets some. I know when your friends get some advice, they be in the closet.
Mm.
They be in that closet crying. 'Cause they're
She's
like,
not that
yeah,
bad.
she. No, Chris would be like, if
Thank
you
you.
don't take that, you probably be like, you don't hear with your dumb ass. Like, girl, don't call me again with this dumb shit. I already told you. At least I'll be like, damn, that's messed up. Really? Damn. When did he do it? Did you call the police? No. Oh. Next time, girl, you gotta call the police just to be like, oh, you so stupid.
Yeah, I would
You
say
just gonna
that.
let him fucking put his hands on you? No, he would have been dead. I would have waited for him to go to sleep.
What? Okay, so now I know you gotta you just tap into my phone, be hearing some conversations.
Y'all are hilarious. I just want y'all to know that.
Oh man. Mm-mm.
Uh,
You know, I'm gonna tell him to call the police, girl. You know, I'm always say call the police, girl.
oh
I
shit.
say call
Blame
Mr.
it on self
Toodles.
defense.
Fuck. Call Mr. Toodles. Mm-hmm.
Really?
Look, licenses go
Now,
a
some
long
people
way.
definitely do need the pillow though. Some people really do, cause I'm telling you, it's not enough prison sentences for some of these little demons.
That's uh, Crystal, are you are you
I'm
good?
done. I'm done.
Okay.
I'll behave. I'm done.
That's why this podcast is for you to not behave. And, I say anyway because I'm stumbling over my words. Um, I want to start by saying I love you both to my bar to,
Aww.
to two of these barbs on here.
Asian heart, Asian heart.
Oh,
All right, now Dion, the video they talking about because I put out a little bit of a rant about Nicki Minaj because as most people know, her dumbass husband was out in the middle of the streets of New York threatening Offset and talk about unified. Now I understand that Offset was in one of them niggas DMs and all that other stuff, but at the same time, Offset was in Atlanta with Kai Cenat while they
The
had
24-hour filming challenge.
yeah while Zoo Petty was in New York talking about threatening not only like outside but threatening this man, killing him, Offset, which led him to 120-day probation. And everybody and their mama was going on saying that the husband is ruining the brand of Nicki Minaj. And I came with a different approach that Nicki Minaj is the one ruining the brand. Now, to be fair, what Crystal, I do not argue with what Crystal says. There's sometimes you got to let people know you got hitters around, but at the same time, everybody's in there. Well, at least from Nicki and the husband. Nicki's like 40, and he's like 45. It's like at some point you just got to let some of that childish shit go, and um he needs to be a family man. That man, not only he is a married man, he is a father. But the only reason I said Nicki Minaj is the one killing the brand because she is, to me, she is always like, in some cases, act like a grown child, like a grown ass child, and that was basically the gist of that rant. That there's times where I've seen Nicki, and I love Nicki Minaj. Don't get me wrong.
Exactly, Crystal. Like what brand? Tell me what image of this brand that you speak of?
We
Because Nikki came out as a Barbie, a cartoon character when she first came out to the scene. She had 7 different bipolar characteristics. Plus, she was schizophrenic. So, what brand? Nikki, and then half of these thug songs, Nikki wrote for a lot of these fake thug rappers. So Nikki been in them streets, and Nikki owns all her masters, and she does her own thing. So I don't think she's killing her brand. Nikki don't have, she never had that sweet girl, white girl brand. Like, let's be honest.
I I never
Nikki
said
has
she had
never
a way. I
like
never said she had a
it
white
would
girl
have been
brand.
something. if Taylor Swift had got with Zoo, and it would have been like, oh, Taylor Swift is killing the brand. Like, but Nicki has always been that's her aesthetic, her brand. So, but the thing is, like, everyone's saying, oh, Zoo, like, we don't know what the hell Zoo got going on. Because to be honest, one day woke up, next thing you know, they was boyfriend girlfriends, then they was married. I was like, okay, you just woke up and all of a sudden, and then like, but Nicki, first of all, we all know, you know, Nicki, other than Drake, because Lil Wayne, he was up in some stuff. Half of Lil Wayne team, damn near been through prison and back and forth. Um, we all know the baby. I mean, not the baby, but like Birdman and half of Cash Money, Young Money, all of them. They Nicki was up in the streets when she first started out. So it's like I don't think she's killing her brand because to be honest, Nicki has never been the aesthetic of, let's say, like a proper white woman. That has never been her aesthetic. Nicki cursed too much to be having a clean aesthetic brand. Nicki has moments where she also talks about education and stuff like that, but we have never put Nicki in the echelon of being like a white brand.
I have never put Nikki in a white brand either, but I do expect someone at least 40 years old to at least evolve a bit and at least not leave the street shit. Like you don't see Jay-Z getting in the street shits no more. Obviously, like he even changed his raps to talking about where once he was selling dope to now he's talking about business and arts and painting and all that other stuff. You see 50,
Mhm.
you see, and this is who I'm comparing Nicki to, not no other female rappers. Compare them to male rappers like and moguls like your Jay Z's, your 50 Cents, your Nas's, and all that other stuff. Obviously, I expect even in some of like the rappers that I've listened to back in the day where they came out talking about dope and now they're evolved and they're talking about more things like businesses and all that other stuff. I personally expect Nicki to do that too. Hell, I feel like Beyonce done like have a little bit of growth in herself as well. But I don't expect Nicki Minaj's image to be someone white, but she is pop culture. And white people do
But you
listen.
got to remember, all these people you're talking of, other than 50 Cent, to be honest, well, technically, like these people came out way before social media. Like 50 Cent learned how to evolve with social media, but these artists came out during the PR sessions where they had people who spoke for them, people who Nicki came out during the social media era. So she grew up on, just hustling and growing for herself and building a social media following and like playing around. She was always a character and stuff like that. So it was like then Nikki had that one era where the era that y'all love so much is the one where she was with Diddy when Lil Wayne got locked up and that's where she came up with her Pink Friday album because she was around Diddy and she was wearing the black. She had her black hair back and all that stuff. But other than that, Nicki Minaj has always been a full blown character, and that's what people loved about her. And so sometimes she do you know silly stuff, and I'll just be like you side eye it, but it's like that's that's just her personality. It's not like she goes above and beyond and become like where it's like to the point where it's like okay, girl, like where it's too childish. Like sometimes she can be a little childish, but it's not always too childish. Where like it's she literally in her own home acting silly. It's not like she had an interview and doing like okay, like we're talking about she's sitting at her office or whatever her desk or her Queen radio show and acting the plum fool. She's not at like somebody else's like let's say whatever the guy that does the late night shows. She's not at his like talk show acting weird, doing like all that extra weird stuff. And then with Kenneth Petty going or the guy that Kenneth Petty was with going on live looking for Offset. they just look stupid. But it like we need like I understand. Okay, Nicki Minaj is married to Kenneth Petty, but it's like everything he does not always reflect on her. Like we need to stop putting other people's
Not to
issues on
interrupt,
other people.
not to interrupt me, but they're married, so everything does reflect on her. That's her husband. So everything,
That's
just
what
like
y'all want. That's what y'all want. But that's
no,
not how life
no,
works.
that's
Like
no,
no,
no. It's not even
Nah,
no.
hold on.
That's no.
If it
she
were,
will not get locked up for what he does.
But
That's what you like. If unless she told him to go out there and go look for him, what he does, like he got house arrest, right? Did she end up getting house arrest because he was sitting on the side of the street looking for Offset? No, she didn't get house arrest. We always want to like throw people's extra luggage on other people. Like we need to stop doing that. I'm not saying we as like black people. I'm saying we as people in general. We need to stop throwing other people's luggage on top of other people. I understand we're married or whatever the case may be, but it also irritated me even when the military would be like, oh, somebody do wrong, the whole military did wrong. What? Hell no. Don't put other people's shit on me.
but yeah, I'm glad you mentioned the military because that's exactly how they roll.
It's,
Because you may not, okay, you may not know that that person that is on the Harry S. Truman. I know that that person may be on the Harry S. Truman. The civilians don't know that that person is from the Harry S. Truman. They just know him as a U.S. Navy sailor. If not just it affects that person, it affects the ship and affects the company that you keep, which is why, like, most people when they do stuff under the name of whatever set company, the company fires them because you work under me. And it's like you represent me. It's the same thing with marriage. It's like I represent her and she represent me. So wherever we go, we represent as a unit. When you obviously you've been married, you're basically
mhm.
a unit. So if especially like even with like family, like I remember like going to church. If I do something stupid in church, it reverted back to my mother and father because and then my mother and father has to come to me. It was like I raised you better than that. Why am I hearing from other people you are acting a fool? Is like what you do affects the whole family. Now I understand there are individuals in the family, there are black sheeps. I understand that. But as far as legacy is to what she is trying to build, because she is a queen and a boss bitch, that is her queendom. And everything that she does in her queendom, it revolves back to her, which is why a lot of people were saying that he is ruining the brand. But the thing is, she chose that man to be his husband. She chose to marry that man, and like whatever he does is going to reflect back to him because you seen it, and even the people, even other people was just like, yo, I don't know why you done fuck with this dude. He's a predator. The man is a convicted felon. He caught a body and all that other stuff, and it reversed all the way back.
Oh,
As much as because
listen.
look, I understand you don't want this to fall back on Nikki because it's not because Nikki didn't personally do it herself, which is right. She didn't personally do it herself, but you're affiliated or you're associated with the person that does that. So whether just like guilty by association, you probably didn't do the crime, but you was around when they did it. He's like, and then like you gotta like it suffers the consequences, which is why it's like I'm saying that she ruined the brand. If that's her brand,
I
everything that
understand.
she's on top, and then everything in that umbrella it revolves around her to make her look good. So just like something like Kid and Petty looking bad, and obviously she's not divorcing it. She's probably I don't know if she's endorsing it or not, but obviously she hasn't said much about it, but there's been times she stuck by a man, like even during like the case of him being a convicted felon or some shit like that. Everything
Well,
like I
we all know that's a lot. Like it's not even because even the girl who said he supposedly raped her when she was young, she said she lied about it. The thing is, it was her mom that was like having her do it. But the thing is, he had already the way that he had signed the plea deal, which now he can never go back and fight against it, even though the girl asked the judge to retract the statement, blase blase. So, but it's gonna be like that for the rest of his life
Okay, thank you.
because of the
I
plea
never
deal
knew
they gave
about
him.
that. I never knew about that. I appreciate you telling me that. So because that's something to know. But even then, like that's still like um whatever he does, she has to answer for it. Because even if she didn't do it, like let's just say like the next time she goes into the interview, and what's up? Like let's say she goes to the Breakfast Club, and Charlamagne goes, "Yo, what's up with your husband going outside looking for people at night? Ain't gangsters supposed to move in silent? Why is your man out there on the camera like telling people where he posted up at?"
They would never do that. They would never
Charlamagne, I
go to
know
Nicki.
Charlotte.
I know. No, they would never go to Nicki Minaj and ask her, "Oh, why your husband?" Because first of all, we all know they wouldn't do that. Because let's be honest, Kenneth Petty, as we all know, he's from the streets. He lived in the streets. He's been doing street stuff. We don't know how much money that man done ciphered through. So I don't think, and he really active. So I know for a fact no one would walk up to Nicki Minaj in interview and ask them about Kenneth Petty
Yeah,
or say
never,
why was your husband doing that? Not even Charlemagne.
never say never. I would just say that never say never. But Nikki don't really do interviews like that anyway. So like I think
No,
I
she
think
do
maybe she
interviews.
she do
She do a
interviews,
lot of
but
interviews.
no, she do
She ain't gonna do
interviews.
one with Charlemagne
Yeah, that's what
and the
I'm saying.
Breakfast Club
She won't do one with
because
Charlamagne. Like she'll
he
do
axed
one with
them and
Joe
He
Butt.
could,
canceled them completely.
She'll do one with
and he
Joe.
got her order wrong one time. So
Hmm.
Yeah, like she'll do one with Joe Button, but not with And I know she kicked Joe
No,
Button
cause
out of the one
no, cause
Queen radio show.
Charlemagne is a rat. Like
it's
not in the
debatable.
sense as a snitch, but he's a rat in the sense of like the man is foul. He don't protect nobody. He just a horrible human being in general.
That's it. But yeah, that's basically it. Crystal, I know you got something to say because you go.
No, no, I just it's a lot. It's a lot more to the story, but we'll see it all unfold. Yeah, her age does play a factor when it comes to representing, what it do, but at the same time, her child was threatened. And it just so happens when she was on the 911 call,
Hmm.
to state, hey, there's people, it's a man or woman, I think it was a woman with a child in her hand, and she got a gun or he got a gun. I couldn't really hear, but I know that she had to fucking call the cops because people were surrounding her house. That's swatting. Swatting is a very big offense in the street. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And
Yeah,
it just so happened that the stripper bitch knows CB. You know who I'm talking about, right?
yeah,
So at the end of the day, it's things that's really going on in the background as to why a woman of her age will act like that. I'll act like that too. Because by the time the cops
Exactly.
get to the fucking house, right? God only knows what really went down. What man that's on parole would actually go in the street looking for a man unless his child was threatened? Because they threatened Nikki all day long and he's never popped up like
Hmm.
that. But it just so happens he's outside. It's things that I can't put my finger on, but I feel like everything's gonna unroll. But I do understand. We know Nikki from, you know, back in the day, carrying herself like a queen and stuff. But why would she be on stage saying, you know who can't control themselves? Roman. That's a threat too. That's
Hmm.
subliminal. And she don't really talk. We're talking about a woman that's given college scholarships to younger women and telling them to get their education and stuff, unlike CB, who actually sent goons, yes, goons, to threaten a stripper that was entertaining her husband.
Exactly. And
And
beat the
then
stripper
Nikki had
and
to
had
go
to
to her
beat the stripper
offense.
up.
So if she wasn't that type of woman, I would get it, but she's acting just as crazy as CB to tell her, look, I can play in mud too. What's good? Because it seems like she's not getting help, and you already know they're blackballing Nikki like fucking crazy. I'm not giving an excuse to the way that her husband acted and she acted, but let's face it, we're talking about a child that Nikki literally had to call the cops and say, I have a baby in here. I'm surrounded by guns and stuff like that. I don't know the full context, but let's face it, what parent is going to act normal in that situation? And they stay saying, oh, she's not telling the truth and, just making her a liar. But how is this bitch connected to CB, but then she's saying she has nothing to do with it? And who called the cops on Petty? It's all a setup. You know what I mean? But we'll see it unrolled. I really can't speak fully on it. I just know little parts and pieces. But I feel like it's more to it that we're not seeing. And she said she was gonna talk about it on her radio station. So I'm gonna tune in
I
before I
know
say
that
any
live.
more. Cause every
But she
time
was
it's
on there. She was active.
oh
She
Lord.
got on that live and it did absolutely nothing but make sure everybody knows she was strapped. Not strapped because she ain't showing no gun, but
Mm-hmm.
she had people around. Play if you want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something more to it. It's something more because remember, we didn't even hear about CB's situation of threatening women and men until what, months later?
Oh yeah, yeah. And to be fair, I have a that when she be doing that, I be having problems with her too, because it's just like y'all grown as. To me, it's just both of them are grown as
I
women. I
know.
know like CB is like 10 years younger, but and like she be like she kind of like still she's not media trained either, even
Right.
though she should be at this point. So and I'll be disappointed. I'll be disappointed at her when she be doing dumb shit like that too. It's just like, yo,
But
Yeah.
she came in like that. So I'm like, what are y'all expecting from?
to grow.
Y'all want these people to act different.
No,
It's like
I,
y'all asking Sexy Red to grow up. Like,
I,
How old is? Okay, I'm sorry. Off topic.
okay,
Go
Sexy
on.
okay.
Red is young, but Sexy Red, she be her, Sukiana, they all beyond me. At least
Okay,
Cardi B grew up a little bit.
this is just me. This is just me, and this is what I was saying. Like I said, like all the people that I don't name, like your 50s, your 50 cents, your Jay Z's, um, your young Jeezys, like even Ti, people that's been on the streets and actually done work in the streets, and then you and Ti, he could be like so, but you look at them now, these people are like moguls, and like they're doing millions and $1 billion deals, and I know Nicki is doing millions and $1 billion deals. It's just like you don't ever hear their names, and like 50 Cent, he can be petty sometimes, especially when it comes to Ja Rule. But we all know the stuff behind that. But most of the time, it's just like a lot of these people, they grow, they evolve, especially out the street shit. They don't be bothered with the street shit no more because they're making their money in corporate America or legally. So like I do expect some of these, especially like someone like CB and Nikki, where like they make money off like what Nicki Minaj is making money off of the Barbie shit, right? She making up money off of the Barbie shit. Like she is the Barbs. Like she don't ever have to like ever fuck with street shit again. And same thing with Cardi. Like she get the Fashion Nova deal. She be on red carpets and all that other stuff. And then like you're making so much money where it's just and everybody's like get eaten too. So it's just like what are you beefing? What are you beefing about? Now I can understand like you not generally not liking one another. That's natural. It's like you're not supposed to like everybody, but there's a point where it's just like, yo, this is stupid. I don't need to be dealing with this. I make too much money to be just dealing with that. Now, yeah, I get it. Like I'll be the same way. If someone mentions my child in a untamely manner, I'll probably be looking for him still. So either like parole is not gonna stop me. But it's just but at the same time, it's just like if you're gonna do that, And
Mhm.
like if you want to do it, don't put no fucking cameras on and telling people where the fuck you at and come meet me outside. It's just like we all old enough to know where it's just like no gangsters I know do that shit. You do that
Right.
shit
You want her to
But
do
they
like Breaking
do.
Bad.
But they do. These new
now.
age gangsters do.
Now, like
That's
some
what
of
I'm
these,
saying. The
like
time you're talking about 50, Jay-Z, Jeezy, all these people, they were media trained. They were different type of artists. These guys ain't come off of SoundCloud. These guys really have to be found. And these record labels really had to put in their work before their music even became public. So these guys were trained. They understood the business. They understood what they can lose. They understood, the game. You talking about these new artists who coming off the SoundClouds, who coming off of mixtapes, who's coming off of just waking up out of the bed and being found and seen. And even these new age thugs, they going on live to rob people. So it's like, and they walking around like guns blazing and like showing they guns, showing they big stack of money, this and that. These drug dealers back in the days, they were silent. Like they were flashy and stuff, but it wasn't like, oh, I need to be on. These guys will sell drugs online and don't give a damn. Like these new age thugs or old age thugs, but now they want to be famous. So all these thugs want to be celebrities. So we
yeah,
can't we can't we can't
I don't,
put
yeah,
these artists that you talking about artists that was found by labels, like they had to put in work to find these artists to get them into the game, to get them in. Versus these new artists, all they gotta do is do one TikTok song and boom, they celebrities. Do one little SoundCloud, let that thing hit, boom, celebrities. Do a little YouTube videos, boom, celebrities. Like like NBA YoungBoy back in the days didn't even own a phone. Look at him now. That man got a phone. He always on live.
that man had to
Like
go to
at this
Utah to
point,
change his damn religion and shit.
yeah,
But
I'm like, it is a different era, a different type of artistry. Nowadays, even the what is it called? The actors is going on live. Like they always talking. They personality showing. They selling their own products now. Back in the days, them actors, we didn't even know if they even had a personality. We didn't know what they do for a living. We didn't know how they was living. If they was broke, if they was in a mansion for real, or if they was struggling. Because they was always like they couldn't talk. Now, all of them. Look at Lisa Ray. Lisa Ray, she used to be a little. You didn't even know. Like you secretly found out information about her on the blog. Now, you can watch on the old people T show that she be on.
the old people team. You talking about the joint with her, Claudia Jordan, Vivica, and Selena Johnson?
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about. The old people shit.
they are old in there, just making a fuss.
The 50 and up, the 50 and up club.
Exactly. But they stay on live. Vivica, she's still hurting and missing 50 Cent. And she making it on every second she can. Like, girl, let him go.
Poor Vivica. She, she knew she knew she lost that nigga. but
And I don't even think they was together long enough for her to be this stuck.
there wasn't.
Like,
You're right. There wasn't.
he spent longer time with that old crusty white one.
You talking about 50?
Yeah.
Chelsea Handler.
Uh-huh. He spent more time with Chelsea Handler than he did with Vivica. But Vivica's the only one stuck.
Oh man, yeah, he must have put it on her. That's the only reason I think he. But, but, but I think the whole point of that rant is just like because obviously I seen the video. I was like when I was like, and I was saying like my favorite version of Nikki when she was in the my nigga video, the remix, and that look
Yeah,
when she was in the
that was the Diddy Nicki, because Lil Wayne was locked up, and so Diddy was technically managing her at the time.
Yeah, that was
So
and obviously and like I can't believe I'm saying this about Diddy, but Diddy actually knows this. I think this is the one thing Diddy knows. He's just like you put her in an image that you was just like I like that Nicki. Like she was very elegant and
mhm.
she was still rapping. And don't get me wrong, so like to me, Nicki is the epitome of rap. I've said that many of times. It's
Mhm.
just like she doesn't spout so many clones where like anytime where I hear a rapper like change their voice and dialect, I I just like, oh, you just trying to rap like Nicki, and which a lot of female rappers was trying to rap like Nicki. So so yeah, she made like to me, she is the epitome of rap. But but it's just times where I just like want I don't know. I'm a type of person who's just like I just want to see evolution. I just want to see you evolve a little bit. And it's just like I don't want to see like now she's like I will say this now she's putting on female rappers where at one point she's never done a song with female rappers is like
She has. Oh my God.
no
She's done
like
so many songs with female rappers.
like
Every
then
year she's done several songs with Trina. She's done several songs with Foxy Brown. She's done several songs with no name rap female rappers. She's the problem is like for some odd reason she's done song with Eve. She's done song with Little Mo. She's done songs with so many different female artists. The thing is, we only seem to keep on for some odd reason put her in the same little bubble that like, oh, she hasn't done any music with female rappers. I don't know why, because of the whole Foxy Brown thing, but that is definitely not the case.
were they on her album? Because I've looked at this like to me she
Her
didn't
album, she's only done like it's not like she's done a bunch of songs with like on mixtapes or she sound like other artists they made songs and she liked it and she jumped the same way she did Pop Smoke. His song was already flourishing in New York, and she heard it, she liked it, and jumped on it. The same thing with She Herbo. It's like Nicki, whenever she jumps on a female artist song, it pops and everything. But all of a sudden now we only saying, oh, she did songs with um Spice, Ice Spice, whatever, and that. But she literally did Trina's song like on Trina's album for free. Didn't even charge Trina for that old raggedy song Trina gave put out. It was so disappointing. They had the audacity to get mad at her because she didn't want to go make a video for it. Like, girl didn't even charge you for a feature, and then your secretary asked her to go do a music. Oh, why don't she come do a music video? Like, but Nicki has done songs with a lot of female artists. It's just we don't tend to want to go look it up or like want to believe that she's worked with female artists.
okay all right
Katy Perry, don't remember that one, huh?
Katy Perry.
Yeah, the Bang Bang. Ariana Grande, she's done so many songs, so they're like best friends.
Oh, that was like the honestly, yeah. Uh, that's pop. To me, pop is different. Like I said, because there was more. That was
The
when
Five
she's.
Star Chick song, the one that had all the females on there.
That's your Gotti song. I kind of
Yeah,
compare
but
that to your Gotti song.
she's also been on them. The thing is, she's also done people's mixtapes. Like if she likes a song, she randomly jumps on it. You ain't gotta ask her to be on it.
Yeah, yeah, but is that like a real feature? Would you really consider that a real feature though? It's one
Yeah.
thing you jump on like okay, like she did Boss Ass Bitch. Like
Mhm.
she just jumped on that one. It's the same way like Lil Wayne used to jump on other people's beats and then just rap on it. And that's basically what she did. And I don't really count that as like doing a song with it. To me, like because I remember I was looking at it, I did look at the discography, it was just like the one, like at one point, I remember her doing songs with Rihanna and Beyonce, and that was it. And then like then came Foxy, and then like she had this one song called Four Door Aventure. I remember that, and the rapper didn't even get credit for it. I had to look up that rapper credit, and yeah, it was some no name British rapper, but that was one thing. And then like the one time I really seen her like really work with female artists was Meg on that Hot Girl Summer joint. And
Hmm.
then, and then she started working with other female, then with Cardi, then with
Well, she never she didn't work with Cardi.
yeah,
Offset, I mean not Offset. Quavo messaged her and said he putting Cardi on there. It was never a song where Cardi was originally on it. It was
she
just a song with her and Quavo, and he threw Cardi on there, and that's where the beef started because
well,
Cardi went and ruined and like all of a sudden told her management she felt like Nicki was dissing her when Nicki had already dropped her verse before Cardi was even in the picture.
that damn, that kind of furthers my point then. But that's what I'm saying. Like she didn't really get on people to like, in my opinion, Meg. And then the Ice Spice, and then the Sexy Red with the Pound Town, and then like now you seen her working with female artists. That's a little bit of evolution that I do like seeing. But um
But a lot of the female artists that she works like, she genuinely like end up working with, they was all horrible. Like they all came out afterwards like dissing her. So I was like, it's better when she just find random songs that she likes and like, drops her little spin on it. Because it was not like they had to all try to pretend to be. It was too many fake stuff when she started working with these artists. It's like physically work with them.
yeah,
It's
she,
too many.
like I said, she pulled the Lil Wayne. She jumped on the Jay, said that, like like I said, even though Boss Ass Bitch was I don't want to call it a hit, but it got radio play. Like
Hmm.
I've
Well,
heard her I've heard her version. I heard Nicki
more than you
Minaj's
heard the original
version
version.
more than the original version. The same thing with Lil Wayne and Sky's the Limit. So
Hmm.
that's where I'm getting that at.
Yeah.
So like I said, I can see her evolving now, but I also like I do just like, because I guess we do got a bottom line because it's almost 2 o'clock in the morning. It's just like I do feel like,
Ooh.
yeah, I know we've been on this. I do feel like, she gotta, like, she has to take accountability of who she puts around it, and this is why, like, a lot, like, this is as someone as being in charge and head and being the queen that she is, you have to take accountability of who you have under you, just like most CEOs and most people do.
I don't agree with that because
It's
I feel like to me, that's the biggest. I hate that. I hate when people start to like put stuff on people that's not even theirs to hold.
Oh,
It's
don't
even,
get me.
and I think I'm so grateful that it's not up to society to convict people because if it was up to society, a lot of people be in jail. Not just one, everybody be in jail. Like even with the whole Gunna and um Young Thug, I'm like, all of a sudden he became labeled a snitch, and I'm just like, how? Because now once did he say, oh, Young Thug had the weed on him? He just said it's not mine, and I'm like, how did we automatically say it's Gunna's? So I'm like, if I ain't do it, then you automatically got to do it. I'm like, Gunna never said he had the weed. Young Thug never said he had the weed. The shit probably was already in the car. But I'm like, if it was up to society, boy, y'all convict everybody. So I'm like, I'm so glad that it's not up to society to do the conviction because let's be honest, Ken and Petty, and I understand they're married, but to be honest, they're still two separate people. If that was the case, if what he did reflected on her, they would have also put her on house arrest. because they feel like she was a risk too. They could have easily got a judge to like, you know, put her up for it and say like she's a risk too, or she's whatever they feel, but that wasn't the case. So we got to figure out ways to stop putting luggages on other people's, especially like on other people's back for other people's stuff. Because whenever, like, let's say the burnout case, nobody was blaming the mom for the dad, being a criminal or whatever. But for some odd reason, it seems like in black people scenarios, we putting everybody luggage on one black person. No, let's stop that. That's how I feel. That's I just don't think it's the right thing. Like I feel like we need to stop doing that.
Trust me when I say this. My biggest pet peeve, and like this is it's one of my gripes about the name. My biggest pet peeve is getting blamed for someone else's mishaps. Trust me when I say this.
Mhm.
I done cursed out many second classes because it's just like what someone else is just like, why are you asking me?
Yeah.
Why don't you ask them? And it's just like, or
Exactly.
like,
Or punish the whole crew. Like,
yeah,
bruh.
I
What?
yeah, I that's my biggest pet peeve. The all for one for
Mhm.
all thing. I hate that.
Yeah. And
But
I hate it too. I hate it in general. Like not just I hate it all over. Like I
yeah,
even hate it when I was like we are two separate people. Don't
but
even do that to me. Mm-mm.
yeah, see, you and me, we here on that. But I'm gonna give you this analogy, and then I'm gonna go. We gotta end this. But I'm gonna give you this analogy, right? You and your man. Let's say you and your man, you go out to dinner, or there's a new restaurant, and you and your man, you want you and your man to go get into this restaurant, and it's a high class restaurant where you have to dress nice. So you go up to him and say, "Baby, let's go up to this restaurant, and like I want you dressed to the nines, like all sharp, covered, all that other stuff, and we're gonna basically something." So basically, you getting ready, you look gorgeous. You just dressed to the nines, hair done, makeup on. You look freak, dresses popping, all that other stuff, and then you see him, and he looked like shit, and and basically you're like, baby, I thought I told you to get ready or get dressed, because this is a fancy restaurant, and he's basically like, look, I do whatever I want, I'm my own person and all that other stuff. Would you still go to that restaurant with him?
No,
Exactly. Why? Because exactly, because
no,
when
because I
both
know
of
we
you,
ain't gonna get in.
yeah,
if
one you ain't gonna
you
get.
say if the closing requirement is this, why would I walk my happy butt over there just so I can know I'm not gonna be let in?
Is exactly that, and that's what I'm saying. This is just like, and then if y'all coming
Now
together, now if y'all coming
would
together,
I still what if it's an expensive restaurant, I know he paying for it, then I'm like, I guess I ain't going. But would that mean I wouldn't still go there just by myself? I probably would still go by myself because I'm not about to waste my time and bring you out, and I know we gonna get turned around. And now I gotta, it's like I can't even go eat there by myself because now you stuck. And it's just like that's just childish.
you
Either
you
you go by yourself and leave the person home
you
because
see
y'all not gonna get in together, or you just don't go at all.
you see my point. You see my point, though, right? Y'all supposed to
Hmm.
go in as unit, and even though you told him everything is like about that, he still fucked up. So now you
Hmm.
have to make the executive decision: do I go by myself, or do I stay home with him and wait? And then waste this time and all that other stuff, waste the whole event. And that's what I'm saying. It's just like sometimes you know this as someone that's been married before. It's like sometimes you are a unit. You have to move as a unit. Sometimes what you do represents him, and sometimes what he does represents you. Now, if he comes out like a slob, even though you probably don't care, there's probably going to be people looking at you as like, yo, why is she with him? Why is she with him? What does she see in him? Why is he dressed like a slob and you all dressed all nice and all that other stuff? Does he not love her like that? Does he not care? Like these are like you wouldn't have to go through that if that man was also dressed to the nines. If he was also sharp. If he also looked good. Now if y'all both look good, they'd be like, damn, that's a beautiful looking couple right there. They both dressed up, they both look nice and all that other stuff. So when you get the gratitude, it's like the gratitude you will get the gratitude the same you will get the the opposite of gratitude, obviously, what I'm saying. But the whole thing is like because of him looking like a slob, you had to make the executive decision of do I go without him or do I stay home with him and miss out on a good opportunity. And that's what most people do that. So in that case right there, like you are obviously you already made the decision. You already had like two or three decisions in your head. So the fact that you had to do that, it proves that like he's not in the system. No, he's not like you're not really linked together because if he really cared about how you looked and how your brand is, he would have been dressed in the nines. It's just like
Mhm.
even if he doesn't like dressing up, he was like, you know what, I don't like dressing up, but I'm gonna do this for her, and because she wants that. That's how, and like as someone is doing that, he's supposed to be the one to be like, okay, let me get all short, maybe show, hey, well, how you like this outfit? Is this good enough? Show this to you so both of y'all can at least coordinate or something like that.
Mhm.
That's what I'm saying. I understand. Like I said, I understand. I'm like you. You and me like that. I don't like getting blamed for other people's shit. But there are
Yeah.
sometimes like, and this is what I learned into the Navy, and this is what some of the first classes is like. They don't know I'm a HT3 that home maintenance technicians. They don't know you a machinist mate,
Mhm.
and they just know you're a U.S. sailor. And it's because they know you're a U.S. sailor. That goes for the whole branch. So this one person represents the whole branch. And if you go in there looking fucked up, they're going to have some type of they're going to make whatever assumptions about the whole branch. This is what they putting in the Navy now, or and all that other stuff, and that's why like they're real skeptical. I hate it, but I understand, and that's all I'm saying. So it is now okay. It is now 2 o'clock. You got anything to say before I shut this down?
I'm gonna let you go to sleep because it's not 2 o'clock where I'm at. But I'm gonna let you go to sleep
Okay. All right.
because you gotta be up.
All
Oh,
right.
you gotta be up early.
Yeah, I know. I gotta be up in like 4 hours, but I'll be all right. And then we still got it. And
Okay.
then we still got to do after party.
If you remember.
Okay, I remember. But
Uh-huh. I look forward to it.
yeah. And so I'm gonna end this with this, and obviously because this was the inspiration of a poem I wrote. I want to be the wings on your back, and not the shackles on your feet. And that's all. That's how I try to live my life. To be the wings on your back and not the shackles on your feet. Now, I would like to thank the panel for jumping on, and everybody left one by one, except for me.
Uh-huh.
I would like to thank all y'all for listening to hear us talk our shit again. This is You Know What? Let me just say podcast and we sign it out. Peace.